Good evening, one and all. It's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. That means, of course, it's time for us to join in to yet another instance of Warframe red text has decided to drop right now. It's a thing. It's a thing. Also, it seems that someone is in my walls again, but there we are. We deal with that. Thank you very much, Tom. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. I go live at 7 UK time on Wednesdays, and Hotfixes go live at 7 PM UK time on Wednesdays. It's a thing that happens.
We keep on marching on. Hydrate to all of you, bastards.
I mean, that's a bit rude at the end there, Korokot, but thank you very much for resubscribing onto 7 months. My dude, cheers on that very much. Huh. Really do appreciate it. I can summon red text? Yeah, totes. Yeah, I actually am the red text maker, you know? I send it out and then I start my stream so that you guys are here talking to me about the update that I just announced. That's definitely how it works. I'm 100%. Totally. Right, absolutely. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, whoa. What the Hold on. T1 Trickster, how the did you just buy a ticket by using the ticket command? That's broken. It broke. And you, Tomaros rule. It broke. That's why I changed the command so as to tell you to go to the page for it. And now it's not broken. Or is it kind of broken? Well, I'm going to have to sort out that other command now, aren't I? Bloody hell. Why can't things just choose if they're going to be broken or not? Just choose. Okay, so let's do that. You saw others doing it? Yeah, that's fine. It's just what? Well, then successfully got a ticket. I tested this just a moment ago. Excuse me, spit in that one. I tested this. It was still broken. And now it's... Whatever, if it's not broken, it's not broken. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, apparently. Let me just make sure those names are actually coming through. I'm so confused. 842 is the last one to pop in. Let's see. Who was the last person to type it? The last person I see to type it was 18JAN23. Let's see. Oh, you must. I'm so confused. Must have clicked through to the link then. Never mind. Yeah, I see it. That's fine. Well, this is just weird. This is just weird. I tested it just moments ago and it's still broken. And now that's whatever. Bots, like all technology, are an absolute bloody menace. I'm going to stick with that. If you're worried about Skynet, don't. Because bots are far too finicky to even consider taking over the world. They're too busy just flailing around, no idea what they're doing. So, sod it. We'll just roll with it that way. Yeah, the tickets are actually working again. So, hey, that's a thing. So I'll just update the other command. Enter by typing ticket in chat. There we are. That's it. Cool. I can fix the raffle command back to that. Whatever. Do we fill the form or use ticket command? Ticket command. The form's gone, Cosmo. This time around, I managed to find another way to get to the giveaway that was running through the bot. And then it seems that by directing people to that, the bot just went, oh, if they're going to come here anyway, and has decided to now work again. So I don't know. I don't know why bots do bot things, but there we go. So let's switch us to this lovely little intermission screen whilst I update my game here. Because, of course, you know, we just had an update, so we need to go through that process now. There we are. I was confused. 842 saying, use a link, found a channel via YouTube videos. Hey, well, there we are. Use a link. That explains why I couldn't see your chat message. There wasn't one. All the same, congrats on following instructions. And welcome in to the channel. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube videos enough to come over here. Welcome in. Atalix, there is not currently a Felox video, no. They were saying I need to manually uninstall Discord via command line every time it tries to update. Wow. Wow, that's a thing. Hello there, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well yourself. We're about to have a look at this hotfix, because, hey, suddenly we've got something else to talk about on top of everything else I want to do today. Cosmo, cheers. We got things happening, chat. Things. With a capital T. Very funny how often the update lands right at the beginning of stream. It's because their update time is 7 PM UK time on Wednesdays. I think that's, what, 2 PM their time? So middle of the week, gives them time to finish up the update, check everything out, launch in the middle of their workday, immediately jump onto the super terrible bugs that happen. They've got another couple work days to deal with the not quite so terrible bugs that happen. And then they get back into the rest of their cycle. It's a smart move. Most tech businesses will push out updates on Tuesdays or Wednesdays for the same reason. But let's see. Is there actually something special we need to know about it? Cross save? Maybe. We'll have to have a look. I doubt it, but maybe. So, I'm signed in again. Let's switch us back over to this lovely little screen here. Ain't that gorgeous? Ain't that gorgeous? But with that, I'm now going to bring up the tab which has the patch notes. Here we go. Flashbang, by the way. No warning this time, sod it. Excuse me, just had a pancake as well. Alright, Lure Prey Baroque Prime Hotfix 32210 changes Veruna's Shroud of Dinar now grants her the buff for 3 seconds upon leaving invisibility in every possible way instead of it relying on if you use melee and hit a target. Oh, cool, my video's out of date. Why don't I use Dark Theme? Because my eyes are not made of weakness. I can handle a bit of light. Touch grass. So yeah, Veruna's Shroud of Dinar now will give you at least the 3-second buff, even if you do anything to break your invisibility. You shoot your gun, you time out of invisibility, you miss with your melee attack. Cool. Either which way it works now. So that's a thing. It does make it more forgiving, I suppose. It does make it more forgiving. As I'm saying, use non-2 primers a lot easier. Yeah, absolutely. It means you can pop out of Shroud of Dinar with a primer and then melee, and you'll still have your bonus. That is good, yeah. Reduce the amount of damage the Tomb Protector effigy does in Santa Monara's quest final boss fight. Okay, that's a thing. Clem Spectres and Carl now have full 360-degree vision to improve their ability to target enemies more effectively. Okay. So previously they were looking one way and the enemies the other. I guess they were just being idiots. Spectres are being idiots. Yeah, that's a thing. I could say that the video is out of date after basically every update. Not every update, Adamite, no. But in this case, yes. Cross-platform play fixes. Fix sending an invite to a username used across different platforms, not showing an account number suffix, making it confusing to know whom you are sending an invite. There. There's going to be some interesting fixes hidden in here. Maybe only one, but I have no idea which one it's going to be, so let's find out very quickly. Fix being able to cast Veruna's Orphan's Descent and deal damage to enemies from a zipline without leaping. That was a funky one. I didn't want to cover it in the video. I did come across that, though, that you could previously use Veruna's from a zipline, and it was just... You didn't go anywhere. You just kind of animated, and an enemy somewhere died. It's kind of silly. But now you do actually leap to the enemy, which is cool. Fixed weapons still being equipped on Veruna during Orphan's Descent after casting Breach Surge. Well, that's a thing. Fixed Oberon's Hallowed Reckoning Augment mod not being affected by range mods for clients. How do client things happen like this? Again, technology is just stupid. Clem Spectres getting stuck in an animation loop when he tried to reload and was no longer able to shoot. Cool. Fix being invisible, locked into operator after being grabbed by rogue below list. When will this boss fight ever not be buggy? Let's be real now. When will it ever not be buggy? That's a thing. Fix black squares flickering over the cutscenes in the final stage of New War Quest. I remember seeing a Reddit post about that a while back, so fair do. Fix players becoming their K-drive and losing function after using transference near a body of water. That does sound terrible, yeah. Like, of all the possible ways to just ruin your evening, becoming a K-drive is probably right up there. Becoming a K-drive might be the worst kind of punishment possible. Fix the enemy icon on the vessel in Santa Monara's quest. Not be visible if the visual effects intensity slider is turned all the way down. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that probably shouldn't be tied to that slider, or maybe break the slider up a bit. But I've said my piece on that to DE. I know it's going to be difficult for them. But I hope they address that at some point. Fix the VFX for the Lewis spy rifts and puzzle pressure plates being invisible if again visual effects intensity. Cool, they're moving yet more stuff off of that. That's good. Fix the energy barrier VFX not disappearing after hacking the console in Rise of Armor. Okay. Fix corporate security cameras tracking laser VFX being green instead of blue in the center. Oh! Wait, was that unintentional? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Just give me a spy mission. There we are. What color are they supposed to be blue or supposed to be green? Come on now. Hold up. Gotta have a look at this. Fat Cat, thank you very much for resubscribing on to 8 months now. My dude. Really do appreciate that. Huh. Cheers once again on that. Alright, let's find a camera. Find a camera and not blow it up by accident. Camera? I might have gone for too low. Ah, there we are. Huh. Huh. Okay, well, that's a thing. It was unintentional. Wow. Huh. Huh. That's a thing, I guess. Okay. If you haven't been green look nice, I just didn't know that it was a thing. I figured, you know, they decided to make a change. People do this. I'm glad they've changed it back, to be honest, because they can reserve green for this camera is friendly to you, or at the very least, red-green color blindness is a thing, whereas red-blue, most people can differentiate. Even most forms of color blindness can differentiate red and blue, so it is more accessible, and that is always a good thing to strive for. So I'm surprised that that was a thing, but you know, it's good in the end. Yeah, it was unintentional. Go figure. Fix the no ammo icon appearing above the heads of all of on-call crewmates briefly when they are spawned. Okay, there. Fix these units not using their abilities. Alright. Fix delayed sound effects when breaking a fan in the Grenadier Galleon tile set. Fair do. Fix some VFX issues. With some bits and pieces. Nothing too amazing we need to worry about there. Fix parent sequence. Destination digital. Script errors we never care about. Okay, cool. Cool. As I say, as a red-green colorblind person, I can confirm, can see red versus blue. Well, there we are, perfect. So this kind of change, I presume, is actually good news. But yeah, nothing too crazy in all of this, but that big one there, Shroud of Dina, is much nicer to use. That is definitely a big one to have right there. Runa's 4 zipline bug, never showcased it, but yeah, it's a thing, and that's been sorted out. And you no longer should become UK Drive, which is definitely a good thing. The rest of everything is kind of little bits here or there. Also, the security cameras are changed again. Cool. That's a hotfix for you. Hello, science. My evening is just getting started. We are here in Warframe to enjoy said evening. On that note, we're about to get started on with today's sortie. So if you'd like to be part of that, I presume that Zom wants to be. Send me a message in game. I'll bring in the first 3 people we'll get going on this then. They don't do big stuff in hotfixes? Well. The DE have a tendency to kind of drop stuff. And I don't mean drop the ball, I mean they just kind of go, by the way, here's this now, surprise! They do that. It's a thing that happens. But it's not happened today. Hello Samuel, how you doing? Hello Kenji, good evening from Germany, well good evening from the UK. Alright, we have got our squad, there we are, perfect. Let's go do this interception, that sounded like another, is it time for a sortie? I'm sorry, Max, you're too slow on that one today. Too slow on that one. Also, I need to sort out my weaponry because it's finishing up the leveling on the Zenith. That can go away now. That can just sit somewhere. Let's bring... I don't use enough AoEs these days. They're still ridiculously powerful, so why not? Let's bring the Tsar. And set that to friends and invite only, just in case someone drops. Hello, Jadna. I bring Canada. Fair do. Let's get dropping in on this. Now, as the stream title might suggest, how much is a lot of damage? Random builds. Basically, once we're done with the Sortie and Archon Hunt today, I want to be going through a variety of builds. I'll be going through my own as well as your builds. I want to get a better idea as to how much damage is needed damage. Have I unmodded my Tsar? Have I taken the mods off my Tsar? Because that felt... No, I've broken my Tsar. How have I broken my Tsar? Oops, give me a heavy attack. How have I broken my Tsar? Alright, you take edge, now. What did I do to this? I'm trying to remember when I would have last used it to have made a change to break it. What have I done? I used it with... Oh, did I... I down-modded it when using it with Hydroid, didn't I, for a video? I down-modded it, didn't I? Either that or these enemies are just, for some reason, magically strong against it. Right, it's killing, but... I don't know. Also, I'm out of ammo. That's amazing. Yup. Ammo absolutely not swimming around at the moment. There we are, got a little bit more. Yeah, because this level 52 should be dead right now. If this was a properly modded Tsar, it would be dead. So I've clearly done something. What are you guys seeing? Should I buy Growing Power from Warframe Market? If you want Growing Power and you got the plat to buy it, I mean, you can buy it. Do you need someone to convince you to spend your own money? Or what, mate? Hello, Kraken's Yard. How you doing today? There we are. Getting a little bit more killage going on now. That's good. I'm going to have to check the mod setup on this Tsar, though. It should not have struggled, I'm sure. It's the Kuba bloody Tsar. We are 60% through on this first wave. Okay, may I answer today's question with the best kind of overkill? Huh. I mean, we're more looking at the numbers, but okay. You wanna be like that, I think. No, I seriously do want to have a look at numbers, because, like, for example, weirdness aside as to how I somehow have just the wrong build today. I mean, this guy's hold up against a heavy attack from that. Blink kills him, of course. Yeah, the blink still kills. That's good. I would have been concerned if the... Well, I mean, it took a few hits there. I know it's elemental enhancements. Something's going on. I've toxin damage and Prime Bane and Corpus. I mean, at the end of the day, Prime Bane and Corpus, yeah, that's not doing anything here. Toxin damage is toxin damage. Like, okay, so it doesn't have a benefit against the Cornelia. It's still going to hurt them. When is the next prime time? No idea. See what these announcements have. I wouldn't have thought an elemental enhancement sortie would have made enemies this much stronger, but there you go. Maybe I'm just gone too used to the overkill that's forming. So I'm looking at the biggest single numbers, or also considering big OEs. I'll be looking at all of it, because at the end of the day, damage is damage. If you deal damage to an enemy, you've dealt damage to an enemy. That's the end of the entire conversation. How you apply it is separate to that, because application, while convenient, doesn't change the fact that you need a certain amount of damage to kill an enemy. And that's the bit I want to have a look at. What kinds of builds actually reach the point of being impressive? When does a weapon become extremely powerful versus good, but, you know, Mirage can still take it up a notch? And part of that is just looking at enemy HP, but the thing is there's so many different types of enemies, and levels are all over the places and whatnot. Combining together the idea of enemies and levels and effective hit points and damage type modifiers to where you're at with your modding isn't very intuitive. As Massive Bitchfire is a contender then? Looking at weapons, not abilities. Abilities will come into it after, but the weapons is the core bit of it because of both the fact that they scale much better than most abilities, because they use a variety of mods, not just strength in most cases. And it is the core damage output that most players will have anyway. And bringing the Railsec enemies at say screw levels. I mean, partly that, yeah. Railsec enemies absolutely have stupid scaling. They shit all over the idea of level, and level's already shit on in Warframe. Let's be realistic now. Warframe does not use level to mean level. This isn't going to be for a specific video, Talscape. No, this is a general information gathering, because that kind of information can support a lot. Not just a single video on, hey, look, this is where damage does stuff. Like, if anything, that conclusion itself doesn't really help anyone. Hey, you need 700,000 damage to kill this unit at this level. Like, okay, cool. Now what about every other unit at every other level? So it's more of an information point, rather than a video. Do I have a Felox build? Not what I published, no. Said this earlier, Alex. Not done a video on it. Usually speaking, if you go to YouTube, type in The Kengineer and then the name of the thing you're looking for, if it exists, you will find it as the top result. Maybe 2 or 3 down if I've done multiple videos on a similar topic. If it doesn't come up at that point, you can be pretty certain there's not something there to find. The benefits of being a YouTube primary creator. My stuff's on YouTube. Oh yeah, Talscale. I'm not denying that Leighton does a lot of damage. It's a known fact that Leighton does a lot of damage. Like, there is no getting around that. But I'm not looking to just go, what does the absolute most amount of damage in the game? That's not the question we're answering here. Oh, fair point, yeah. I do have a Felox build specifically for hunting the Archon. You're right, everyone. There is a Felox build specifically for them. You could use it for other content as well, but it's not optimal for other content. I gotta say, the way that these alarms interact on interception missions is quite annoying. Because if an enemy starts hacking a console, it'll start sounding the alarm, and even if you kill the enemy, the alarm will still sound for a set amount of time. And then it'll go pew, that down alarm sound, or alarm cancel sound, even if the enemy is still hacking the console. It's a bit frustrating. Doesn't match up to what's really happening. Why don't I go and also build the news Mirage on top? That's a good question, Player Thoughts. And the point of that is necessity. Mirage is good at amplifying your damage, but if your damage is already sufficient to completely annihilate the map, is Mirage really the right answer? Hello Sparkless, how you doing? So, for example, say you're up against level 1 enemies. Breathing on them pretty much kills them. A properly modded weapon thrown in their general direction will annihilate them. So at that point, if you want to optimize rather than go but big numbers, plain thoughts, if you want to optimize, if you want to ask the question, how can I make my setup better? The answer is not more damage. The answer at that point is something to the tune of move through the mission faster, find ways to apply your damage better, and so on. But before you can get to that point, you need to understand where is enough damage. Because a lot of modding generally just goes, well, let's just take it up to 11. How high can we take this? Will I be exploring sentinel weapons as well? I have no reason to. If you're dealing damage with a sentinel weapon, you're using a Verglass. If you're not using a Verglass, you're not dealing damage with a sentinel weapon. That's the entire conversation on that one. Been there, done that conversation. Let's sort out that Tsar. Some felt fucky with that. Oh no, okay, overall that is actually a build. Interesting. Well, we can still take off the Prime Bane and Corpus, because that is not what we're looking for right now. And might as well grab the cold mod here to turn that into viral. And then I guess, because we're against the Grenade, Prime Bane and Grenade it for now. I suppose the other thing as well is this has no dual damage to start off with, so until this stacks up, yeah, it's going to be struggling a bit, isn't it? That makes more sense. Is the Kuvahek build in your how to one-shot an Archon video good for general content as well? I mean, it'll do a lot of damage. It is designed for headshotting an Archon. So you can still use it in other circumstances, it just doesn't have the absolute optimization. But we're talking the difference between a weapon which is 90% of optimal and 100% of optimal. It'll still absolutely slap. It just won't slap everything in a 12-meter radius every trigger pull. But that's more of a AoE versus Heg consideration than anything else. Ooh, Xmas Stronghold on a mobile defense. Well, we're about to get a couple ribbon slivers. Just a couple. Hello there, JC. I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing well yourself. I thought so. I still find it more fun to go more damage, enjoy myself as much as possible. Okay. Two things to separate there. One, you want to enjoy yourself as much as possible. That's fine. The second is you want to go more damage. That's your choice. But the conversation is about optimization. What is considered a lot of damage? Not at what point would Flowing Thoughts not have enough fun? Because that's a separate conversation. And I know you know that, but I'm making that very clear. Before everyone comes out with their own personal ways of playing the game. Yes, everyone has their own personal ways of playing the game. That ain't what we're looking at. Not this time. Also, is there something really back here? God damn it. Is this in the star room? Oh, nearly the star room. It's off to the side. But it's a sculpture. I'll take that. Now let's not let the console blow up. What progenitor do I have on the Tsar? Currently magnetic. I haven't been bothered to change it over to toxin. Currently magnetic. Which, hey, I suppose gives me benefit against the Corpus. I can build for dealing with the Grenier most days. And then when I'm dealing with the Corpus, I can use the same build because I've got magnetic amplifying my damage for me. Again, not optimal, still works. Which is a lot of this game because the balancing is so absolutely whack. In most parts of the game, you can use suboptimal stuff and it works. Most cases.
Area completed. Move on.
Armor is the most influential opinion. What is a lot of damage? No, armor's a resistance to damage. Oops, gone the wrong way. Which influences decision to use things such as corrosive or radiation rather than other damage types, absolutely. But it's still about the resistance to damage rather than the actual damage itself. Slightly different. Yeah, we got an auto. Auto is nice. Sparkle saying thank you for the videos, by the way. They've been great help for me. Sorry, they are... Right, I see why I'm struggling to get that at a glance. They are been great for helping me do Steel Push without stressing so hard. Glad I can help you on the Steel Path there, mate. Apologies on stripping up on the words there. Hey, I'm trying to read it at a glance whilst playing. You have to forgive me on that one. Low millibars? Millibars indeed. Millibars indeed. I know that means my bad. I'm just being facetious now. Well, that bubble did not want to pop. Okay. Let's edge on this guy. Here we are. There we go. Now we get the kills. Once the stacks on a weapon start to appear. That still remains one of my biggest gripes with the whole stack-based buffs necessary to compete at a certain level. Is that until you have them, your weapons feel like pea shooters. And then suddenly they become gods. It's always a bit weird. Yo, Ravo! Oh, Rav100, sorry, not Ravo. Rav100, thank you very much for subscribing with your Prime for the 5th month now, my dude. Cheers on that. JC, also I managed to keep my ammo up as used in rifle ammo scavenger mod. Yeah. More ammo per drop than ammo maximum. Makuza maximum ammo. Alright. So, ammo scavenging. Scavengers ammo. Yup. Natty Panda, hey y'all. Also going to take the first chat to ask a question. Someone appreciates getting punched. Okay, very weird way of putting that. You're probably in the wrong stream for that kind of approach, but going on then. What's your expectations for Hildren Prime? I have none. She will be primed. She will have some extra polarities probably. She will have redesign, the likes of which I could not guess at this point in time. And that's as far as my expectations go, really. But yeah. But beyond that, this isn't a stream where you should be getting horny over Warframes on, let's be honest now. We don't do that here. How often do I use the Kuvazar barrage mode? This right here, ooh, not that. This right here is the first time I've ever used it.
Mission complete.
And that might be the last time I have ever used it. That's how often. I just don't really see a need for it, to be honest. Where am I from? I'm in the UK. How much monster do you think the Foreman Prime will be? No idea. It all depends on what numbers DE decide to give it. It really could be anything. Hey, I said we'd get a couple Ribbon Slivers. We literally got 2. Absolutely bang on the money with that one. What mission is this? Archon Hunter Sortie. Second mission of the Sortie. Alrighty. That being the second one, that means we're now going into the third one. Assassination, energy reduction. Oh, this is going to be over quick enough, isn't it? This is going to be over quick enough, so let's get the prediction up on that one. Guys and gals, what reward do you think we're going to get from today's sortie? Is it going to be a NASA sculpture? Is it going to be a ribbon, booster, or something else entirely? Grab that blue spanner icon at the bottom of your chat window, make your prediction, throw in all your spanners, why not? You get them for free, what are you using them for anyway? Throw them all in. If you're right, you'll be getting back those from people who got it wrong. That's generally how these predictions work. You think it's going to be 4,000 endo? Well, place your bet there. Absolutely, place your bet. Hellgame saying, Multi-shot increases the AoE even though Prime Fulmination does nothing. Prime Fulmination does nothing to the AoE, the Tenet blinks. Huh, that's news to me.
Has become a problem for our artifact recovery efforts.
Did not know that was a thing.
Several of our big sites in this sector
I'll have to double check on the deets on that one, and if that is the case, once again, D inconsistencies. Always irritated by how this guy does not know how to breathe. It's taking a breath with every single word. It's like, bro, get to what you're saying, please.
will need to stay one.
Just take a breath. And then say a sentence. But hey, the Grineer are clone rotten and he's Grineer. No getting around that. He's just a chain smoker? Well, he can stop smoking. That'd be for the best, you know. Maybe don't smoke.
There is the assassination target. You know what
Not
to
good
do.
for you. I mean, look, it gets a bunch of infested mech suits piloted by war criminal children to come after you. Smoking's not smart. Come on, Buckle Root. Joe has the bright spots. There it is. Now. Need a headshot, please. Thank you. Come on, bright spots. Slowly getting there. Clone thoughts have been killed. Don't just walk towards me. Use your fire. Heat up. There we go. I think someone already got the spiders on his back. I'm just going to stand here and tank the fire. What are you going to do, mate? What are you going to do? Friggin' Lavos. He really has no idea what to do, does he? There we are. If you guys Wednesday, luckily for us all, I did not. Ta-da! Easy peasy. Would Gloom allow those glow bits to show for longer periods? No idea.
Assassination contract.
Never tried that.
Great work, Tenet.
Hey, would you look at that? A resource drop chance booster. Not exactly what I was looking for today, but you know what? We'll take a booster. 3 of you guessed it would be a booster today. Mr. Badman dropping 2,616 spanners on that. Well, Mr. Badman, you are absolutely correct. It is indeed a booster today. So there we are. Wrap up that prediction. Out go the spanners for those of you who guessed it correctly. Enjoy. Alright, so, Jason's saying that on the Spear-X, primed fulmination is not boosting the radius of this. If I do that, prime fulmination, he says, is not increasing the range of it. Alright, cool. JC, what's your source? What is your source, please, bro? You tried it when they first released it. Alright. I ain't gonna trust you, bro, on that one. Because, the range was increasing there. Might have been bugged before. May have been bugged before, yes. The simp charge bit does still work because it is working as intended there. You've got a secondary weapon with a magazine of at least 6. And the AoE is the final shot from it because it consumes the entire magazine. It gets the damage bonus, which is why it's on this build. It absolutely does get that. So yeah, we're all good on that one. Alright, let's switch off the Tsar. I've had enough of that one. Let's grab... Yeah, I like using the Amprex. The Amprex is fun to use. Make sure I've not messed up this build somehow, some which way. No, all looks good still. We can absolutely take that in. Why Lethal Torrent's so good? Are you asking, is it good, or why did he make it good? Because that second question seems more like what you're asking there, and, well, ask DE on that one. I don't know how anyone's supposed to answer that. Alright, let's get cracking on this Archon Hunt, shall we? We are up against Boreal, because we're back onto Earth. We got a Sabotage, Excavation, and then the Showdown. There's a Strength buff for Synax, pass. New core damage buff, but still pass. Zom dropping out, fair enough. So we got a couple people dropping out. So there's a couple spaces available if you want to be joining in on the... There's the entire squad spaces available if you want to be joining in on the Archon Hunt. Why do I have 2 Foremen? One's for testing. Unformed. Alright, I was late before. Can I join the Archon Hunt? You absolutely can. There you go. Can I join for Archon? You absolutely can. Yeah, I'm just gonna not worry about these bonuses. I usually don't worry about these bonuses. There we are. Max Imagine apparently could not join. Let me try that again. So I've got a really itchy nose today. Sorry about that, chat. I don't know what's going on there. Josh said, why does everyone use it? Don't have it, and don't understand what makes it so good to use everywhere over Riven or Galvanized. Well, the thing is, you wouldn't use it over Riven or Galvanized. Because your Riven should be a good Riven, and your Galvanized should be, well, alongside it. Lethal Torrent is a strong fire rate buff in itself. Plus 60% is nothing to sneeze at. So what's the alternative? Gunslinger is 72%. So we've got, what's that? 5/6? Yeah, 5/6 of the power of Gunslinger already in that one mod. Or just a little bit more drain. And on top of that, you also get 60% extra multi-shot. That's kind of a lot of power. Especially if you've not got a Galvanized mod. Or just haven't got around to stacking it up to its maximum. That's a substantial amount of multi-shot. On top of the fire rate boost. It works in its favour. And if that's not clear enough, then do the damage calculations yourself. I got guides to walk you through on how to do that, but yeah, check it out, the numbers. You'll see that it actually works out in its favour. It's a good mod. Alright, so let's go into this Sabotage then. Does fire rate make beams like the new core tick faster? Yeah, I think it makes them hit faster. Yeah. Yeah, it does make beam weapons hit faster. They did change it that way. Once upon a time, fire rates and all kinds of other things were weird with beams. There's still some weirdness with beams, but yeah, fire rate does make them hit faster. Yeah. I've got a really itchy nose today, I don't know what it is.
Whatever Pazul is building, it is consuming huge amounts of power and resources. Shut his facilities down.
The town trembles within you, just as it consumes me.
I do love being able to just constantly dash around the place as Lavos. Until I dash straight into a wall. That's not a pog.
The mixer activates the toxin.
Oh yeah,
by combining
dashing is great.
Biocatalyst. Remove the biocatalyst to render the toxin harmless. Take care when destroying the biocatalyst cartridge. It is
I don't think I've actually got a kill yet. Nope, still haven't got a kill yet this mission. I'm literally just dashing through it. Screw your mission. Frame go burr.
Set the injector into overdrive to incinerate the toxin.
Let's just quickly crack this. Yep. There we are. Not my best, but I got there. That is a very golden look. So here's what I mean about the whole stacking thing. You gotta get the stacks up before this weapon's gonna start actually slapping. And then all of a sudden things start dying quickly. And for a good weapon like the Amprex, getting those initial kills isn't a problem. But other weapons getting those first kills to get to a passable state actually quite problematic.
Leave the system to waste.
And then you just got X machines. They just kind of they hold out pretty well when buffed up like they are here. 7-1 saying Fanfrex. Prime Shred's not in my possession. Is it worth it to use regular Shred, or should I use a Mum in its place? It's your pick between either regular Shred or Vile Acceleration. Because Vile Acceleration will give you a lot of attack speed. That'll make the Amprex hit a lot faster, and therefore massively improve your DPS. Normal Shred will give you nowhere near as much of a bonus, but it will also still give you some punch through. And that can be helpful. That's the point of having it here. That is the point of having it here, is the punch through. Does a lot of work for the Amprex. It really does. But that is on top of having the fire rate. If it was just punch through, I wouldn't do it. Ladybug saying, did you ever get one-shot as Lavos during these missions after that one ridiculous time? No, because I've not been direct hit by the face laser blast whilst my shields were down any point since, no. What does Punch do on the Amprex? It allows it to hit another target behind your initial target with the main beam, and my understanding is that the second hit of the main beam can also trigger the multi-hit chaining from the Amprex. So effectively, if you got enough enemies in a line, you can double or even triple your damage output. Which is, you know, pretty cool. It is indeed pretty cool. Excavation, I'm going to switch frame for that. We've seen before now that Frost can plenty handle this, and I'm going to do exactly that again. Let's bring out Frost. Added bonus that Frost also comes with armor stripping, which will help us even further on that. My side bearer is max rank, so I can throw that away now. Don't need to hold on to that. Oh, no, Chuck wants a worse option. Chuck wants us to instead use Limbo, who does not have armor strip. Alright, Chuck. We will bring the worse option. Never mind. Alright, Gloombow it is. Gloombow. That should do the trick. I hope. We'll find out shortly. Yeah, I'll stick with the Onairu. At least then I do have an armor strip option if necessary. Let's see, we've also got Frost Mace Approacher on the squad, so we got another Frost at least. We have got another Frost. I mean, you guys can talk about the top hat all you like, but at the end of the day, I saw practical problems. Not problems such as what is beauty, because that would fall within the purviews of pure philosophy. But you can keep your fashions to yourselves. I am more interested in the ability to actually get the mission done than they are in how fashionable we can be whilst doing it. That is entirely secondary. Yeah, so that Xmas unit was absolutely not messing around. My health and armor got confidently screwed there. The health and shields rather. Because unstacked weapon trying to deal damage. That's solid. Throw a glaive at them. Everything understands glaive. Stop killing me! Die! Oh no! Okay, I'm gonna die. Thank you. Yeah, so that's enough of that. That's not gonna work out. My limbo's so quick. I'm going to assume you mean my casting speed there. Okay, computer decided to have a wobbly. What the fuck was that? Okay. Limbo math too hard for a moment. Sorry about that, chat. Oh yeah. Bloom turned off because I died. Didn't even notice. Stop shooting so much. I want to just... Oh, god damn it. Yeah, I don't like using Limbo at the best of times these days, because I prefer to have frames which can just tank the insane amounts of damage enemies get at high levels. I also don't like Gloom, just as a matter of principle. And then we got Xmas units to deal with on unstacked weaponry, because I'm too busy trying to stay alive. Basically, I'm not a fan. Frost is superior. Frost is simply superior. Man, so much for the 10x Plinks being an amazing weapon, eh? Look at that. No, 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 Xmas, no, fuck off. What's my opinion on Nezha? Nezha is a very powerful frame. Nezha is a very powerful frame. Pretty sure I have a full guide on Nezha, so if you need more detail than that, you know, you can check that one out. Well, Chuck, I'm not the one who picked Limbo, am I? I'm not the one who picked Limbo, so I mean, if you want to be a cheeky little so-and-so, I can treat you like a cheeky little so-and-so. Regular does not friendly make, it would seem. Oh, right, sorry, I was supposed to pick the Limbo that can instead push a couple extra units into the Rift using Banish. Yeah, that'll be better. You're right.
Excavator destroyed. Protect the remaining dig sites.
For sure, keep pushing it on to me. Totally not reading the room, are you? Hydrate? Sure. Not in the middle of anything. I have a single multi-shot stack in my Embrace doing Guild Skeleton so far. There we go. No, I do prefer using frames which either tank, like Lavos, or properly shoot down enemies. Like, block their attacks, not just go, well, these ones can't attack you, but you can still be absolutely immolated. Also, you can't fight these ones which are out of the Rift without leaving your entire defensive zone. Limbo was good, but he just doesn't keep up. Like, he's still a very good frame, it's just tiresome to continuously try and work with him. It has gotten tiresome.
Bones of my father, fathom drowned. Behold me. Carcass of my mother.
Thank you, finally died. Okay, that took a bit more than I expect. This Ambrix normally works in almost everything I try and take it to, so sure, whatever.
Piecemeal and blinking. Behold me.
I'd say that Limbo might work better with Silence to shut down the Xmas abilities, but it's not just the Xmas abilities. Hey Tori, thank you very much. Hope you have a good day yourself as well. Limbo? What does that even mean, Ladybug? Is this in the bubble or not in the bubble? Not in the bubble, okay. And that's another gripe I have with Limbo. Being able to tell when something is in or not in the rift should be something you can do at a glance, and it is in fact not something you can do at a glance. And that is a problem. I don't care how they do it, it should just be something you can glance at an enemy and go, yep, they are currently under the effect of this ability. With all the shit that's going on. I have a very bright energy color. I should be able to see when my abilities are doing something. Obviously I can't. I consider that a design flaw. And considering just how important it is to Limbo, if something is in the rift or not in the rift, I consider that a serious design flaw. Yeah, let's not have that laser disco, please. Thank you. Oh, balls. I didn't realise that was still going. Max Magic's bleeding out. Let's go save them. Oh, they've been saved. Alright, we're good. We're good. We're good. Well, fair enough, Jock. I'll just leave you with that one. Oh, fuck, didn't notice the bloody Arson Xmas there. Yeah. I used to like Limbo, but it feels like too many things have moved against him because, well, let's face it, he made a frame which requires hard crowd control at every moment to survive. If you don't have hard crowd control, he stops surviving. Die, thank you. Is there a method to choosing Merciless or Deadhead Arcanes? Are you headshotting or not? Specifically, are you killing with a direct headshot or not? If you are killing with direct headshots, Deadhead. If you are not, Merciless. That's your pick. There is nothing else you need to consider. Just that. Because no one's picking up Merciless specifically for the reload speed. Or at least almost no one is. Certainly not someone who can go for headshots. Oh, I thought I was in the red. When did that change? And I'm dying. When was I not in the rift? Alright, let's get back to being in the rift and go into extraction. Must have accidentally tapped dash and didn't notice. My bad on that.
Sad it was today and not Sunday for the 10 mil special.
All the same, SF Sniper, thank you very much for resubscribing onto 7 months, my dude. Really do appreciate it. Don't worry about it not lining up with the Sunday stream, it's still good. Thank you very much. Not every frame is built to face tank damage. No, not every frame is built to face tank damage, but the game scales up damage indefinitely, and it doesn't scale up defense. Instead, it reaches a point of going, what, you took a hit? Oh, jog on then, mate. Back to the lobby. Shield gating is a mitigating factor to that, but then that led to the shield gate meta where loads of people just ironically reduced their shields to tank better because, again, Warframe's balancing ends up becoming all or nothing. It's not entirely all or nothing, but it is close. It is close to all or nothing in a lot of instances, and that is a problem, quite frankly. That is a problem. EDM has everyone who switched to EDM. Who is surprised? Not me, that's who. Yeah, Banshee is the squishiest of frames out there. Because Limbo can crowd control some enemies permanently. If they're not CC immune, you can put them under stasis and that's it, they just stop. Banshee can stun them, but that only goes so far and it's temporary. So Banshee is the weakest. But yeah, Warframe is exceedingly all or nothing in how it operates and stuff. Like pretty much every form of crowd control. You get some which will slow down enemies, but most forms of crowd control that people actually try and use just stops enemies. You will either ragdoll them, or lift them up, or freeze them in place, impale them on spears, which basically just freezing them in place, really, let's be honest. All that crowd control is just total. Bloom is an exception to that. It is a scaling factor, slowing down the enemies. But likewise, invisibility, it's all or nothing. You don't have scales, invisibility, and messing with enemy detection range and whatnot. It doesn't really work out trying to do that. Because you can try messing around with that with the, I believe it's the Rakta Dark Dagger, doesn't end well. The enemies find out where you are, they alert everyone else, and now you're not stealthy. So stealth is very much all or nothing too. Warframe's scaling and approach to balancing pretty much leads to an all or nothing approach. And certainly when you get into the high levels of damage, our hit points don't keep up. Except on tanky frames, our hit points just don't keep up. Unless you have something like Lavos, who can face tank, everything else does just fall apart. Anyway, we're on to the Archon hunt now, so let's grab someone who is, again, an all or nothing frame, but hey, why not, it works. And we'll also have the snake bug for a bit, sure, why not. Gotta love a bit of graphical glitching from snakes. And I want to have the electric mod onto there, so that is on corrosive as well. There we are, just min-maxing every possible thing I could want to use. Also, did I mess with the damage types on this? I did, it's currently cold gas. Let me fix that as well. It's supposed to be... What do I swap around? Was it these two? There it is, heat viral. Do I think you can minimally tank with every frame using Arcane, Blessing, and Defy? No. Defy gives you 750 armor, which is frankly pathetic when subsumed onto other frames. It is terrible. Arcane Blessing is a trap. It is a trap. I can tell you right now that the next video I'm working on is covering the 4 new Lure Arcanes. They are all frankly a bit bad. The ones that go on your primary and secondary have limited uses. The one that gives you a primary weapon damage on reload is passable. More reliable than it is capable. And then Arcane Blessing is straight up a trap. Unless you are producing health orbs through your abilities, you can just ignore it, frankly. You can just ignore it. I did a bunch of different Steel Path missions, non-endless ones, as a demonstration to myself to see how far can they actually go. And by the end of Exterminates Against the Grineer, the Corpus, and the Infested, I usually had around about 12 to 15 health orbs picked up. And that includes getting a few health orbs from Xmas units, usually towards the end of the mission. So say you've got halfway through the mission, you picked up 6 health orbs. Congratulations, you now have, what's that, 140-ish extra health? That's basically nothing. Prediction? Oh yeah, let's get the prediction up as well. What reward are we going to get from this Archon Hunt alongside the Shard? Use Blessing on your Necros. Necros generates health orbs. That's one of the very few frames where Arcane Blessing actually does something. Because if you can generate health orbs, certainly from every single enemy that you kill, then yeah, you're laughing. Absolutely laughing. The health orbs do not drop that frequently from normal enemies. They just don't. I can't even get the shots. Don't stun and look away, just stun and... Kills got taken. Nice. Oh, are we turning around and going this way? Okay. Getting confused me. For endurance, it's kind of useful. So if you're going into an endurance mission, then sure, absolutely. You can use it to have more health and vitality will give you. All that's doing is it's giving you more health and vitality will give you. If you were going to die, because of the amount of damage incoming, you would have died when you hadn't already got your stacks, most likely. Because it doesn't heal you, it gives you more maximum health to survive a burst of damage. But the fact that you have to endure to get to that point means that the enemies just a few levels lower will have already murdered you. That's the point. It's a trap. It's another stacking thing where, oh yeah, sure, you can do this amazing stuff once you get there. But for those frames that don't generate health orbs, that once you get there is quite a way away. And if you are going for more than 20 minutes in a survival, more than rotation C in pretty much everything, extra health isn't what's going to cut it. Certainly not at the cost of an entire arcane slot. Rather than an arcane that will give you more damage to kill the enemies quicker, or give you energy generation. That. Why is it trap and not situational? It's a trap because people look at the maximum value and go, oh my god, I can have 1,200 extra health on Banshee. Holy shit, that's huge. It's like, can you really though? Will you, in most cases, actually get that? That's the trap. Situational sells itself as a niche. People look at it and go, I mean, I could use it there. The trap is that people will, by and large, have a look at that simple little goal of just picking up some health orbs. Like, I see health orbs all over the place. I don't really care about them. Extra health? Sure. Trap. Not actually that powerful. Yeah, someone's on point with the one-shot survey. I barely got into the area. I'll just press X. Job done. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Unusual question, what's your favourite Warframe stream or content creator? What other types of content would you like to pursue or have a soft spot for? I don't really watch other creators, so I don't have a favourite. And what other type of content will I like to pursue or have a soft spot for? I do what I want to do already, to be quite honest with you. That's kind of the point, is I do what I want, and thankfully that has led to a channel that you guys appreciate. It wouldn't be a very successful channel if I was slogging through it for the hell of it, rather than doing what I want to do. How do we kill the Archon so quick? You can one-shot it if you watch a guide by this guy called the Kengineer on YouTube about how to one-shot an Archon. It's going to be far easier that you watch the guide rather than I try and reiterate that entire guide right here, right now. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. I've got a whole guide on it. We got a NASA sculpture. For those of you who guessed it'd be a NASA, you're absolutely right. There you go. One a NASA it is. those of you bet on that, enjoy your extra spanners. Yeah, we didn't get anything amazing there. Non-tile forged, and that's a sculpture, it's just a thing. Someone else's secret recipe for a happier life? Well, most of it. Getting there. Getting there. Alright. I want to re-emphasize the point about the whole Arcane Blessing being a trap. I'm going to drop out the squad here. So Regnak, Eliu, Maximaj, thank you very much for joining in. Been a pleasure. So let's grab Lavos here. Has anyone noticed Lavos doing particularly better or worse in tanking so far at the moment? Because, by the way, the missions I brought him in has been with max rank Arcane Blessing. Anyone noticed that? The fact that there was this supposedly huge amount of health orbs being poured into him. Now, granted, he's already got a lot of health, but I mean, if it was that amazing of an Arcane, you'd think you'd notice. I mean, these shards aren't adding health, these are adding on armor. That should synergize brilliantly. But let me just make sure I've got the right... Yeah, this lot should all handle. Let me switch this over to good old laser beams. Let me switch this over to not that. To that. There we go. So let me just go run a mission real quick. In fact, let's pick a mission. Chat, pick me a non-endless, non-boss mission. I don't care which one. Non-endless, non-boss. Pick one. Jazo, cheers. Not a boss mission. Just a non-endless. Void Sabotage. Thank you, Tom. Void Sabotage. Let's do that. Let's go for the higher tier one. Let's do Pathless. Sabotage, 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 sabotage. There it is. Cool. I'm hoping I don't screw up the mission, but let's see. Let's give this one a whirl. Why not?
These are worthy foes. Underestimate them.
Salacia Neptune. What's Salacia Neptune?
By intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their...
Building up temporary stacks is pain.
If you are willing to shoulder the added risk.
Because as soon as the stacks are there, it's all Gucci. But until they're there, it's a little bit less Gucci. Alright, I'm going to avoid pressing 3 if I can now. So we're just looking at the health orbs. I'm going to avoid using my 3, because Lavos does generate universal orbs. They do count as health orbs for the Arcane. Let me just go through the mission. I'm going to kill more than I need to along the way, just so I'm not actively avoiding stuff, because this is a mission where you can skip a lot of killing. And I can see the Sisters bosses. I don't have an active Sister of Power boss at the moment, so it doesn't matter at the moment. Arcane Mobile Defense. Oh, I see. That is Militia's Compliance, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I forgot that. That would have been a haha, you're funny. Now let's move on. If that came up first.
The portal only allows travel in one direction.
Just black everything.
To reverse the polarity.
It won't black much because it's just a little bit toxin, but you know. So, we've got all the way to here. Look how many health orbs I picked up. You can see on the UI at the top right side, it shows you my buffs, and that includes the Arcane Blessing one. Can you see which one of those is Arcane Blessing? Can you see which one shows how many health orbs I've picked up so far in these 42 kills? The answer is 0. Because this right here is about to be the first 2 health orbs. You can now see the buff for Arcane Blessing. Those were the first 2 health orbs I picked up. 2 minutes into this mission. And it's from an Xmas unit. And this is on the steel path, so there's plenty of units spawning as well. When I say that it is a trap, this is what I mean. People think, I mean, yeah, it'll give you health, right? Like, sure, yeah. I'm about third, maybe even a half of the way through the mission, depending on how you want to define it. I'm still on 2 orbs. Yeah, these things don't take save effects, so I need the glaive to hurt them better. Are they weak to this? No, no save effects. Of course. I have very status-focused builds these days, don't I? Well, the portal is done. Still at 2 health orbs total this mission. Is it any good with necrosyms as well? Of course it's good with the ones that generate health orbs. This is what I mentioned earlier. If your frame generates health orbs consistently and in abundance, you're fine. If it doesn't, it's a trap. And of those that generate health orbs, there's not actually that many, believe it or not. Protea will generate them slowly from dispensary. It'll still take a while for it to actually do what you need it to do. Otherwise, you've got the options of Lavos here can turn energy orbs into universal. They count. You've got Necros, obviously, with his spoil. You've got Nezha with the chakram ability. And, pets. Well, yeah, there's the synth sets. There's one of those mods which can give you a health orb on every 4 assists from the companion, I think it is. Which still at this point, with 93 kills, if they'd assisted on every single one of them, that would have given me, what, about 20 orbs? 20-ish? Which is still a lot more than the 2 I have so far. Still 2. And remember, those 2 were from an Xmas unit. So if it weren't from an Xmas unit, I would have got a full 0 health orb drops from these kills so far. 0. Varuna generates it? Yep, Varuna does, so there's another frame for you. So we got like 3-ish frames, counting a couple half bonuses for generating health orbs. It's just, no. It's not at all consistent.
They fought well.
Trinity's 1 with the Augment, thank you, Ray. Oberon's 4 with the Augment? Oh, okay. That's not what I ever would have thought of, but then again, most people don't think about Oberon these days. There's not a lot of sources, quite frankly. There's not a lot of sources. The other big takeaway is that Lavos generating the health orbs. Okay, cool. Lavos already has so much health that Arcane Blessing actually isn't that much of a blessing. And he works well with the Umbral set because he wants to armor tank, which further reduces the desire to have Blessing because we're adding on health already with this lot. I start with 2,140 health to get the full Umbral in. So Arcane Blessing here, during that mission it gave me 48 extra health. 48. So the vast majority of missions it's just not going to be doing much. For Protea is going to be shield tanking more than I think because of her shield grenades. So the health buffer, it's a thing you can use, but it's not really that big of a deal. Trinity, absolute boundless amounts of healing. Having the extra hit point pool could be useful, but I'd really be wondering if there's other arcanes you could be using at that point. Necros is a good pick, so we have 1. Oberon, I'm not sure on that one, to be honest. Oberon's in a bit of a tough state at the moment overall. He's kind of mediocre at pretty much everything he tries to do. Nezha, you're tanking mostly through your damage reduction on the Warding Halo. But yeah, Nezha would be alright as a pickup there. Again, though, I wonder if Nezha may be better off looking at an Umbral approach if you're going for health tanking like that. Varuna, probably about the only other good pick on there for it. So you got Necros and Varuna. Maybe Oberon. Maybe. Nezha doesn't need help tank? Exactly, yeah. Because if you're at the point where a normal Nezha build is going, shit, I need more health, and not more healing, more health, you're probably screwed. Pretty much at that point. Vivid saying, elemental damage question. With the mods like acid shells, how do toxin mods benefit if you build for heat viral? Does the game just add toxin from viral to acid shells? And the weapon hits for viral. Okay, this is about acid shells specifically, which is not a mod that I'm particularly familiar with. So let me have a look there. Let's see what the wiki has to say, because that is a very good starting point for things we don't know about. Let me just grab that here. Alright, wiki, what we gotta know? So, it is a Sobek thingy which does corrosive. Oh. So how do toxin mods benefit if you build for heat viral? Well, it's different. I don't know if I'm missing something there, but it's corrosive damage. Enemies explode on death, dealing corrosive damage. What's it? Scale off? Faction damage mods affect the explosion damage. That's about it. Am I missing something? I'm not sure what I'm looking at there, to be quite honest with you. So, like, what the question is, Vivid. I must be missing something on that one. You're going to have to give me a bit more to work with there as your question, because it seems like to me that just explodes in corrosive damage, which has nothing to do with toxin or viral. I feel like on top picking frames to generate health orbs, it all sounds like an Arcane's most suited for endless missions. Yes, but you need to get to the point of getting that many health orbs. Sod it, let's pop ourselves into a survival then. Let's see how much we get on a survival. Let's probably test that. This should absolutely blap, so that'll do us just fine. Let's take Lavos into a survival. Oh, definitely don't have region chat open, that's terrible. We do not need to have that open. Let's see, I'm gonna do... Let's do... well, however long it takes to get to 50. Let's see how long it takes to get to 50 health orbs picked up.
Each enemy is more powerful than before. Only with true mastery of the Tenno arsenal will...
So a guy that said you want toxin damage and Bane mod Riven to run it with Sauron.
They have just shut down.
Well, if you saw a guy that's telling you to do something, have a look at what the guide says about why you're doing it. And if the guide doesn't say that, it's a terrible guide. Because if a guide doesn't say why, then how are you supposed to actually use it? This is why in my guides I point out specifically why I do things. I don't spend 20 minutes on a video just as filler. It's there importantly. There's people who skip through to the builds and then throw stupid questions in the comments like, so why did you do this? It's like, I explained that 10 seconds earlier if you didn't skip it. Mechanics heavy? I don't know which guide you're referring to, unfortunately. I've not watched or read every single guide out there. In fact, I watch and read very few Warframe guides because I'm at the stage where I do that myself. I can't help you on someone else's guide, sorry. Have I done a myth busting of Rathrum Arena Endo without primary and secondary? That's not a full myth for me to understand there, Non-Fabullo, but I've not done any myth busting that covers that specifically. If you want to add it to the suggestion channel over on the Discord, you're welcome to do so. I'm not quite sure what half of the question I'm missing there. Would viral stacks increase the fixed damage of that acid shells mod? Yes, because viral damage, viral procs on an enemy increases the amount of damage it takes to its health. So if you are damaging its health, it will take more. That's what viral does. Alright, well, we got an Xmas unit here. That just gave me the 4th and 5th health orb. We get more than we got from the, what do you call it? From the sabotage mission, but then I am also at nearly 200 kills. Hundreds of kills. Also, life support is going down despite hundreds of kills, which is an issue in itself, quite frankly. 7 health orbs. it doesn't go very quickly, does it? Now, Xmas units do spawn more often as you progress, so they will spawn more frequently. But it's about getting to the point that the Arcane's actually doing serious work. Right now, oh, that was another Xmas unit, so that was another 2 force health orb drops. So I'm at 9. So that is, what, 216 health it's given me? I want to say 216. 216 health. We're 3 minutes into a steel path survival. And I have over 300 kills. If you needed health to survive, this Arcane wouldn't have done it. The other thing to consider is that part of how my Lavos is tanking so effortlessly here is the Arcane Grace. If I was using Arcane Grace, well, I am using Arcane Grace and Arcane Blessing at the same time at the moment, for demonstration purposes, which means that I've used up all of my Arcane slots on tanking. They're all gone. That is definitely a thing. What are we testing right now? The amount of health orb drops I'm getting in this mission. I'm currently up to 13 health orbs. After 400 kills. Bear in mind that on the majority of frames have a base of 100 health. So a max rank vitality on them would give them 440 extra health. To reach 440 from this Arcane, isn't that like... I want to say about 19 stacks on the Arcane. So we're still not at the point where we'd have that vitality bonus. We're not quite there. Let's see, let me try this exactly. Lavos, just survive for a moment, please. 18.3 stacks. Yeah, 19 stacks to surpass vitality on most frames. Not even umbral vitality, just normal vitality. Ah, another Xmas unit. Force 2 more health orb drops, please. There we go. I have reached the point where normal vitality would now be inferior to having the vitality, to having blessing. Only now.
Extraction is ready.
Umbral vitality goes all the way up to 770%, and if you are health tanking, you're probably going to not probably want to use the umbral set, but it's certainly going to feature as an option if you are indeed health tanking. I just overall feel that Arcane Blessing is just a poor choice. But Archon Vitality on measure for heat procs. I mean, if you wanna. If your heat procs are doing enough damage that you want twice as many heat procs, sure. Bear in mind that if they're not doing damage, then that is a complete waste. I'd say not doing damage as in not no damage whatsoever, but are they doing a worthwhile, measurable, important amount of damage? Because only then should you care about doubling up the heat procs. Only then. Archon Vitality works with Lavos? It does, yeah. Yeah, there is that. I prefer having the Umbral set for the extra tank. Because I am using him as a lazy health tank. Yeah, take it any which way you like on that one. Alright, we're at 28 health orbs so far. Is it possible to AFK tank in a high rank mission? Daitai? I'd say yeah. I'd say yeah, probably. I think you can just get some frames which can just stand still in the middle of a mission. Just be like, ah, I'm done now. Alright, let's get back to work. Yeah, you absolutely can. Grab both my guns back. I wouldn't call invisibility tanky. It's defensive. It prevents you from being killed in that you are not being shot at if you are invisible correctly. But I would not call invisibility tanky. Because you are not literally tanking the hits. And that's where tank is derived from. The idea of an actual tank. A military weapon which can be shot at all you damn well please. Without specialist gear, you're not taking it down. Invisibility isn't that. Invisibility is, as Raptor puts it, damage avoidance. So, invisibility is a defense. Colloquially, it can be referred to as invis tanking as a way to survive, but it's invisibility as your survival option, yeah. Not in itself a tank. It's the only AFK you can do since no amount of damage reduction on AFK since shield tank gating is needed. Talscape, I feel like you aren't watching the stream right now, which is kind of weird because you are responding to me on the stream. So I don't know how you've managed to get to the point of both watching and not watching the stream simultaneously. Because I've just stopped in the middle of all of these enemies once again. My carrier's taking a hit, granted, whilst I stand here making this point. Whilst this heavy gunner gets killed by my carrier rather than successfully kill me. And I can tell you it's not Arcane Blessing that's doing this for me. This is a combination of armor, adaptation, and Arcane Grace. Pick up my gun. I took that personally. If you want to tell me you can't AFK tank whilst I am stood still, the question was asked was in a high rank mission. Okay, right, I see. You read high rank and misunderstood that as endless missions only. Because heaven forbid anyone ever consider Steel Path high rank. You might have forgotten just how much someone goes through to get to this point in the game. There are not endless players posting on various forums and discords asking for help on how to even do missions before Steel Path. Just because the only high rank mission is level 2000 plus. Sure, yeah, it reaches a point where your health tank will fail because enemy damage scaling is infinite. But endless missions taken to the endurance extreme is an endurance extreme. It's breaking every design factor of the game. Also at 32 health orbs still. Be realistic. If you're not going to let Steel Path be considered high level, basically you've just decided the entire game is not high level. Is this getting after 10k? There is none, no. That's level cap. Oh yeah, endurance missions are frankly pointless. Aside from just for the fun of it, for testing your build to see how high you can go. That's just it. Is Steel Path high level? Garugas, you know I just said that is. No, Daitai, no. If it was historically, I have no recollection of it being so. Alright, well, I've been dicking around too much demonstrating AFK for a point, so I'm going to go get some life support. We're still only at 40 health orbs picked up, by the way. Granted, I spent a moment or two, you know, proving my point AFK, but that's over 1,000 kills in with, was it 1 or 2 Acolyte spawns? 2 Acolyte spawns, and still this Arcane is not finished getting to its maximum point. I would like to say I've proven my point that this is a bit of a trap arcane. You really have to survive already for it to get to its bonus. And if you're already surviving, then why do you need it? Because as Tailscape silently pointed out, there does reach a point where health tanking isn't going to help you anyway, so you'd want a different approach regardless. If you can't tank without the arcane, you're not going to tank with it. It's pretty much my assessment, with the exception of those frames that can generate enough health orbs for it to matter. You've never used Arcane Grace, but Blessing is better. Arcane Grace allows me to just stand still in a Steel Path mission whilst multiple enemies, including heavy gunners, are firing at me and survive. If you really think that Blessing is better, do the same. Stand still. Do nothing, just let them fire at you and tell me how much better Arcane Blessing is about that. Something tells me you'll disagree then. I actually can't be able to continue this mission, to be quite honest with you. I've made my point. We're like 3 health orbs off of 50 there. I don't know, Cosmo. Maybe it's my tone that I know I need to sound more annoyed and frustrated rather than friendly Chipper Ken today. Maybe it's a tone thing. Like, people hear that tone and go, you know what? He sounds argumentative. I'm going to argue as well. I'm going to guess that's it. It's the best explanation I've got today. Because if I can stand still in the middle of a Steel Path mission on stream, just letting enemies shoot at me and someone can turn around and play, yeah, but Blessing's better, fuck off, I'm done. Frankly. You're not arguing, you're just like trolling. Okay, cool, right. Boltsy, let me have a look at your comment history. You've made yourself a target for my investigation. Your entire messages today were just, is this getting after level 10k? I answered no on that. Your next message was, I've never used Arcane Grace, but Blessing is still better. Not arguing, just like trolling. Amazing contribution. Wow. Alright. You've not had a timeout before. I feel like you might be trying to get one. Really, just don't do that. Just don't. To your credit, having a quick scan here, you're not usually an arse. That's fine, that saved you. Yes, there is a comment history on absolutely every single person. Just in case anyone felt like they weren't being tracked anywhere and everywhere they go on the internet these days. You're saying, just to frame your judgment on Blessing better in my head, would you say the likes of Ice and Warmth are also a trap? So, we're talking about Arcane Ice, which is the one that gives you chance to completely resist a heat status effect, and Arcane Warmth, which gives you a chance to completely resist a cold status effect. Yeah, you don't need those. They're not doing that much work for you. For Arcane Ice, there is some consideration to be had there for Arson Xmas. You could absolutely say that rank 5 there can increase the survivability on dealing with surprise Arson Xmas. And that would really be about it, but generally I would suggest just using Rolling Guard at that point. Because then you can save the Arcane slot for something more effective. The mag procs are perhaps more devastating overall, because if you run out of energy on a frame that can't easily generate it, then you are screwed. Arcane Grace for the healing aspect, Arcane Energize for just the sheer energy output, Arcane Consequence because that bullet jump factor you're just not going to get as much in most other cases. Arcane Pistolier is absolutely staggeringly good, quite frankly. Molt Augmented has a great position, Molt Efficiency is alright, Molt Reconstruct is decent. There are loads of great arcanes. So, blocking a heat proc, I would say, is unlikely to be worthwhile. The cold one is straight up a trap. You don't need protection against cold procs at all. Not to specifically use an arcane slot on, though. If there was an arcane that would resist slash, that would be neat. I swear. You know you can search in this game, right? mean, I know I put out guides, but come on now. If only there was an arcane that protected against slash. Yeah. And if you're meaning slash damage rather than slash procs, you don't need specific protection against that. Slash damage is not scary to anything, actually. Usually just jump out your frame when you get heat proc. Yeah, that's another solution, Daitai, absolutely. Using Operator to just blanket block the procs for a moment if you messed up and take that. That's fine. You can use Rolling Guard. You can use Operator abilities to give yourself some invulnerability. There's various frame abilities which will get rid of status effects, yada 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 yada. There's a bajillion different ways of handling it. But notably with Arcane Ice and Arcane Warmth, both of those are considered common arcanes. They're both bronze coloured. They're cheap as chips. You can buy them from people who run Eidolons for basically next to nothing, because no one really needs or wants them. Whereas when it comes to Blessing, what I've just been absolutely slandering, it's rated as a rare one. Gold tier. And yet it is painfully niche. Basically just good for Necros. Yeah, Necros, Varuna, maybe Oberon. I wouldn't put it onto Protea. I feel Protea can do better not focusing on to having a bit of a health buffer. Lavos clearly doesn't need it. Because we can't even tell the difference between using it and not using it. Slash immunity is great for Valkyrie. It's great for Valkyrie built specifically the way you do, Gru, yes. Anyway, let's switch back to... I'm using Consequence normally at the moment. Can I show Grace remote? Never heard of it? Yeah, sure. It's Arcane Grace. On health taking damage, there's 9% chance of plus 6% health regen for 9 seconds. So you take a single bit of damage, and if it triggers it, over the next 9 seconds, you'll regenerate 54% of your health, which means the higher your health is, and certainly the higher your damage reduction is, the better this becomes as well. This works mostly only on frames which already can tank at least some amount, so you need to have things like adaptation and a decent health or armor pool, or both preferably, when you're up onto higher levels, because 9% is not a very high chance. It's not. But then you get enemies like Heavy Gunners, which go daka 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 at you. All it takes is for one of them to trigger. Just one of those shots just needs to set this off, and you're healing. It's overall health, not base health. It's overall health. That's why my Lavos can tank so redonkulously well. Because 2,140 base health there, 2,140 multiplied by 6% is 128.4. So when that activates, I'm gaining 128, I'm just going to round it down, 128 health every single second. Passively. At least up until it runs out again, but by that point, more things are trying to kill me. Now, if we take into account the different damage reductions we got going on, just for armor alone here, I've got 1,991 armor, which according to the game here is providing me 86.9% damage reduction. So we take that 128.4, and we divide it by 1 minus the damage reduction. And that brings it up to 980 effective health per second. And then we have adaptation here, giving me up to 90% damage resistance to various incoming damage types. So, yep, again, we can basically just multiply by 10. Arcane Grace, with adaptation at full stack with the armor, is giving me 9,801 effective hit points per second. Regeneration. Nearly 10,000 health per second. Does it scale with Arcane Blessing? Yes, it would, because that would be your max health at that point as well. So yeah, Arcane Blessing would make it stronger, Garuga. Flip point, you're now spending yet another Arcane on that, when you could be spending the Arcane on dealing more damage, or some alternative utility option. You can get more damage out of your melees, you can get more crits, you can bullet jump, so allow you to get around things like the sabotage missions faster, more fire rate. Loads of options to use there, rather than just even more health on a frame that was already tanking with 10,000 effective health per second. Where can you get Arcane Grace? From killing Eidolons. Probably actually capturing Eidolons, I should say, to be clear. It's the top tier one. So it's not an easy one to come across, no. They're expensive for a reason. You can get it from other players, just buy it on the market. Let me see. Arcane Grace at the moment. It goes for... when it wants to load. A max one is currently selling for 670 platinum. Just a little bit. Arcane Grace really is the difference between a health tank operating and struggling in a lot of cases. Like, you need to heal one way or the other with a health tank. Health is not infinite unless you're bugging out your Rayleigh. And that's where Arcane Grace makes it happen. That's where Arcane Grace makes it happen. Yeah, you can heal from Lavos' one. Absolutely, Dom. This gives passive healing so that he doesn't have to focus on the one for healing. I can use it in a caster sense using Swift Bite. So I can focus on getting groups of enemies for recharging the ability timers instead. And it's the fact that it's passive, you don't have to think about it, it's just constantly there. It's a passive tank. Difference between actively keeping yourself alive and being a lazy son of a bee. Quick sidebar question. Sidebar question? Okay. If Atlas jumps in the air, does his passive still save him from being knocked over? The tin says yes. I don't know what the tin is. But I don't have my base since I fed him to my helmet a while ago, but I misused it. Okay. So, will Atlas's passive work in the air? The passive that specifically reads, become immune to knockdown effects while on the ground. Does the passive that says while on the ground work whilst you're in the air? Cosmo, I think you're on point there. 19% is a very important figure right now, isn't it? Yeah, that's first time you watch my stream with this many trolls? You know what? Yeah, quite frankly. If I think you're trolling me at this point, I'm just going to hit the ban button, and you can explain to me afterwards, when you're allowed to submit an unban request, there is a delay on that, by the way, why I should care. Because quite frankly, this is getting ridiculous. Chatting is a privilege, not a God-given right, and trolling is actually just stupid. So keep it up, I will start handing out bans. I'm getting pissed off at you kinds of people right now. If you got something genuine you want to check into, cool. If you're just asking the most inane stuff, check the wiki first. Do me a favour, please. Really taking it a bit far. Alright then. That aside, what I actually did want to focus on as part of today is looking at the various damage thresholds that we can reach in this game and how far things actually go. Hello, Satella the Alien. Welcome into the stream. Hope you enjoy what comes in the next few minutes rather than what just transpired there, all the same. But yeah, I want to have a look at the damage scalings. Oh my god, the snake bugs are getting worse. Why do I have double snake? Lavos, come on. Lavos. Lavos, what is this? Lavos. Lavos, please. Even you? Yeah. So yeah, let's see. I'm going to start with some of my general go-to builds. Let's see what actual numbers these reach. Because that's the important bit. The numbers. And to help with that, we can grab a notepad. Notepads are always a good thing to have. Notepads can give you so much useful information. So, Fulman. Now, unfortunately, we can't just take the stats off of here because this game doesn't have a button to click for activate the scaling buffs that we get left, right, and center. So we're going to have to figure this all out. In that figuring out, for the sake of galvanized aptitude, I'm going to assume, just for calculation purposes, that the enemy has a viral proc, an electric proc, and an impact proc. I normally would include the impact on such a low value, but it's forced impact on the Fulman, so we can include it. So we'll assume 3 status effects affecting galvanized aptitude. So before enemy modifiers, including having a viral proc, reducing their increasing damage they take, how much are we getting? So we have a starting point of 5247.1 is the base damage that it says there. And that is including the multi-shot and the damage bonuses. So we need to take those out to then bring everything back in. How do we share the builds? When I ask for them, Logic, that'll be how. Would Overframe give us the same numbers, or are you doing something different? Overframe I don't fully trust, LU, because again, whilst it has the apply the modifiers, one thing I've noticed is that it loves to assume that every single damage type you have on your weapon will be applying its status proc at all times. That, among a couple other quirks, I don't trust it enough for the purposes we're using here. Does aptitude only stack to 2 times? Yes, but no, because I think you're asking that question because you don't understand how it works, Barbless. I may be wrong there, but it's not the first time someone's asked that question with this kind of mistake. On kill, plus 40% direct damage per status type, affecting a target for 20 seconds, stacks up to 2 times. The 2 times stack is to the 40%, not to the status types count. So when you get 2 stacks, that's 2 kills to get those 2 stacks. You're at plus 80% per status type. Doesn't matter how many status types. If you've got 1, it's 80. 2, it's 160. 3, it's 240. 4, it's 320, and so on. Yes, I know how to times a number. Big whoop to do that. I know it's not very clear on this mod, but yeah. With all kinds of stacking mods, the stacks are referring to this many stacks from the triggering condition. So primary merciless here. Stacks up to 12 times. Each stack is caused by the kill. You'll get a max of those 12 kills. Sorry, max of 12 stacks from 12 kills. Then no more triggers can happen to take it higher. It just refreshes. Galvanized aptitude, wasn't that proven to be horribly bugged? Oh yes, it was proven to be horribly bugged, and then they fixed some bit of it, and then they fixed some other bit, and then they fixed some other bit, and it's still broken. It's still broken. Let's verify that it's still broken. There has been a hotfix today, so let's once again verify if it is still broken, in fact. Let's go down to the simulacrum. I'm going to need to defang my carrier if I do that, yeah. Always remember to defang your carriers. Let's see if that bug is still there. Because it was the last time I checked, but granted there have been like 3 hotfixes since I last checked. We'll be certain. We'll be certain. So fully stacked aptitude with 3 elements will be 240%. Correct, yes. Because you got 80% from having 40% doubled, and then that 80% is applied 3 times for 3 status effects, yes. Okay, Juno Tech, that should be perfectly fine for testing. So if I donk you in the face, well actually in the chest, 4051, that was a crit, wasn't it? Yeah, so the crit was 4051. That might actually, looking at how much I'm hitting their shields for, that might be too much for testing purposes. God damn it for me, you're too strong. Let's get someone a little bit beefier. Let's take that same unit, but now take them up to level 185. There we go. Let's try this again. Yeah, so 4051. Part of the reason picking a shielded unit is because the level doesn't change the damage calculation, so that's fine. So 4051 on the crit, or 1838 on the non-crit. I'm going to write those down now on the notepad. 4051 or 1838, wasn't it? I think it was 1838. Yeah, 1838. So now, let's grab ourselves the, and that was with Serration. That is important for this test, by the way. That is with Serration. Galvanized aptitude. Let's bring this in, and I'm also going to need to spawn in some really weak enemies. Let's grab a few. Are you kidding me? Another hotfix? I'm fine with 1 in a stream, but 2 is pushing it a bit. Come on now. So, having just added that 1 mod in, you see it's still 4051 on a crit, 1838 on a non-crit. Let's just quickly do that. Now, 7292 with 2 procs on him. Oh, I've broken his shields. Whoops. 7292. We'll just have to work with that. 2 procs, 1 stack. So, 7292 divided by 4051, because it was a crit, is a increase of 80%. So we had 1 stack, which is 40%, 2 procs, which is 40% twice, 80% increase. We went up by 80%, I should say it's 180% to be accurate here. We've gone up by 80%. So despite the fact that we had Serration, which is giving us plus damage already, the Galvanize mod was adding a multiplicative bonus. A multiplicative bonus. And this is on projectile weapons like the Foreman. Not hit scan weapons. And not AoEs, because AoEs don't get the bonus of Galvanized aptitude anyway. But on things like the Foreman with a traveling projectile, they get a bonus. Or specifically, they get a multiplicative bonus rather than additive. Whereas normal weapons, it's additive. And to take that further, if I do here, 275, add a proc on, 358. So 275, 358. What's the difference there? 358 divided by 275 is only 30%. By 2 procs on him? Come on. Oh, 358 again. Oh, wait, is that with 2 procs? Hold on. Oh, wait, yeah, a stack dropped off. My bad. Yeah, so I've got 1 stack. Normal damage is 317 with 1 proc on him. 358. So 317 at 1 proc. 358 at 2 procs. If I do the 317 divided by the 275, that's an increase of only 15.3%. We'll have a look at that in a sec there, Gorilla. So, if this isn't already confusing you, that's fine. It just means you are human. The Foreman, when I use it in shotgun mode, 2 procs was giving it an 80% bonus, but in rifle mode, 2 procs was giving it a 30% bonus, with the exact same modding. It's the same bug we've had for a very long time. I don't know why it's still in the game. I don't know if they know how to approach it. But what's basically happening is that on, as I say, projectile weapons, it's multiplicative. On hit scan weapons, it is additive to other pure damage bonuses like Serration. Because the other way we can bring about this calculation, if we take 275 divided by 2.65, because the bonus from Serration is 165%, we get a base value. Let me just type this in my calculator correctly. Base hit, but it would have been of about 103.8. And if we take the 358, we divide that by the 2.65 plus the 80% bonus, so 0.8. I'm hoping this number comes out correctly. Oh, would you look at that? It's 103.8. Yep, there we are. You can see that demonstrated is definitely an additive bonus, but over here it's definitely multiplicative. So yeah, the Galvanized mod is still broken. At what point is the bug considered a hidden buff for projectile non-AoE weapons? Good question, Raptor. until D tell us one way or the other. We don't know. Alright, what's this red text saying? Did you miss me? Besides all the updogs, really here with a fix of DX12 crashing. Fair enough. If you didn't crash, you can ignore me. Okay, fair enough. Cool. So it's probably just fixing that. I'm just going to quickly check on the patch notes, make sure they didn't do anything else that we need to know about. Probably not, but I'm just going to quickly check. Oh, probably not. They added just a +1 to the notes on the forum. Runa's ability description has been updated to reflect the changes, and then DirectX 12 crash fixed. Okay, cool. DX12 is just a way of rendering and running the game, basically. Just think of it as a way that a program runs. Alright, so that has been deployed. Yep, restart to receive. Okie dokie, let's switch off of Warframe for a moment whilst I do the update. Just whilst we do that. So why would hit scan or projectile even make it different? Because Warframe is bug frame. That's why. It's different because Warframe is bug frame. And if that isn't a good enough answer for you, you're going to have to take that up with the developers who made it this way. Does it affect beam weapons? Beam weapons, I'm fairly certain, are considered hit scan for this purpose, so they will still be additive. Double check with your own weapon if you like. I've just shown you how you can double check it. Do procs increase with a different status like magnetic electric, lowering the proc chance to increase the damage? Sorry, what? Is that question? Does procs increase with a different status like magnetic plus electric, lowering the proc chance but increasing the damage? I'm sorry, Cosmic Archon, I don't know what you're asking. I genuinely do not know what you're asking. Wish I could help you on that one. Alright. The update's gone through, just loading in now. Wonderful. Wonderful. Alright then, so I was having a look at damage stats. Wrong Foreman. That's the testing Foreman. Alright, so the Foreman base stats we had 5247.1, including the multi-shot and damage. So taking down to base, which is to remove those base multi-shot and damage values, 5247.1 divided by the multi-shot we've got, which is 1.8, at least what's showing on the arsenal, and divided by the immediate damage bonuses, which is just duration there, gives us a value of, and I should probably be doing this in a spreadsheet, but whatever, 1100. Pretty much bang on. Makes sense. And then we can say fully stacked. We'll have 1100 multiplied by the full multi-shot bonus, which from chamber giving us 230%, which will be 3.3. Multiplied by the full damage bonus, so we got Serration here for 165%. We got Primary Merciless here for 360%, so that's 525%. This is multiplicative, so we'll do that later. So 525% is a 6.25 multiplier, because you've got to remember the 100% base that we're adding on to. Aptitude, I'm assuming 3 procs and fully stacked, so that's going to be another 240% increase, 3.4 multiplier. This will give us a non-crit value. And bear in mind, this is not what you'll see, because we're accounting for multi-shots average output here as well at 3.3. So the average output, including multi-shot, I appear to have maybe done this incorrectly. Yep, there we are. There we go. I accidentally a number. 77,137.5 before crits. Matthew Weakness, so we noticed. Can can you use the same user on PC and Xbox? No, they're separate accounts at this point in time. Cosmic saying, yeah, total damage is higher. I don't know if I've missed something from you, Cosmic. Yet the total damage is higher, but with adding magnetic to electric increases the procs per hit. Nope, still not getting. Still not getting you there. How would adding magnetic to what does adding magnetic to electric mean first, Cosmic? And second, how would what you think is adding magnetic to electric affecting procs per hit? Because procs per hit is status chance. I don't know. I still don't know what you're asking there, my dude. Sorry. Galvanized mods are weaker on mission start, but are better once you get a few kills. Yes. Which is why, if you have multiple stack-based weapons, then if you are not actively switching between them, the unswitched one, the one that was holstered for a while, will just end up being terrible. Savage, I assume if they were meaning that, they'd have said that, which is why I'm confused. Because it's very easy to say, oh, what if you add on a 60-60 mod? So we'll see what they come around and say on that, Savage. Alright, so with the crits then, that's the next bit of consideration here for the Foreman. We have a crit chance of 90%. We have a crit damage of, it says 4.8, but it's actually 4.84. Fun fact. Because it starts off with a value of 2.2, I believe, and then we're multiplying that by 2.2 because we've got 120% coming in from Vital Sense. So, fun fact, it's actually 4.84. For now, RT, yes. For now. So, with the way of crits, we could just figure out the maximum hit, but I want to get the average hit. Just join Hacky Send the build. Not at the moment, Zono. Not right now. We got enough builds for the moment. So, for figuring out the average crit, the way you do it is you take your hit, you multiply it by 1 plus your crit chance, multiplied by your crit damage minus 1. That equals the average crit, average output, or average hit, including crits. Okay, so in this case, we have the hit calculated at 77137.5. We're multiplying that by 1 plus our crit chance of 0.9, because 90%, multiplied by 4.84 minus 1, which we can actually just write in as 3.84, which means we don't need the parentheses because we can just calculate it like that. All these ways are just simplifying your equation that you're looking at to make it easier to process. And that all comes out to, let me just pop this into the calculator here, 0.9 multiplied by 3.84, 343,724.7 damage. I'm going to put a comma into that, that's getting pretty big to look at. Per shot on average. Which is quite a bit of damage. I think you would agree, chat. Do I do content full time? Yes. That is quite a bit of damage. Now this is assuming that a viral proc is on the enemy on top of electric and impact, which means if you're hitting health, you're going to be doing at minimum double that amount, because viral. Probably more. Alright, Cosmic Archons come back. So, electric on its own is one status, but I'm trying to ask if I add another status type that could align to electric status type, that being magnetic, does the damage for the proc lower for electric for, or say electric is 100 proc, 100 per proc on the target, does adding magnetic change that to a low number? Cosmic, what? Cosmic, I'm concerned that you might not understand anything about how status is applied in this game. It may be a language barrier, but I'm genuinely concerned that you might not know anything about how it's applied. Okay, let me break this down. I'm going to break this down bit by bit, and you tell me when I've got to a bit where I've lost you or I've been lost by you. Let me break this down bit by bit. Also wrong, Cosmo. So I'm going to copy in your message here. so that we can work this through bit by bit. Let's break this down. Electric on its own is one status. Yeah, we know that. You're trying to ask if I add another status type that could align to electric. So this is the first bit I wanna. Let me just not break that. This is the first bit I want to question. That being magnetic. Okay, break there. Break there. Another status type that could align to electric status, that being magnetic. There is no such thing. I don't know what thing you think you might be thinking, but there is no such thing as status types aligning to one another. Magnetic is made from electric plus cold, but that does not mean it is electric and cold at the same time. That does not mean it is electric and cold. Magnetic is magnetic, electric is electric. They are two entirely different things. So, first point there is no alignment to worry about. Does the damage for the proc lower for electric? Well, let's talk about how electric procs are calculated very quickly here. Electric proc damage is done per second. The damage per second on electric is equal to 0.5 multiplied by your modded damage. I'm putting this in square brackets to show there's more to it than what you might think. Multiplied by your electric, 1 plus your electric mod bonus, and multiplied by 1 plus your faction mod bonus. Okay. Does the Foreman even force proc? It force procs impact within, I think it's 10 meters on the shotgun mode. Anyway, moving on from that. Modded damage. This is the base damage of your weapon. All damage types, not just the electric, all damage types. The entire base damage of your weapon. It is multiplied by your pure damage bonuses. It is multiplied by your crit, if applicable. It is multiplied by your faction bonuses. I go over this in my damage calculation guide on YouTube. If you want to go back over this, just Google or go onto YouTube, The Engineer 165, you'll find it. Okay. So, modded damage, you're using your entire weapon, multiplied up through a few other features. Your pure damage, your crit bonus if applicable, your faction bonus. Any headshot multiplier or whatnot that applies as well goes into this section. Your electric mods are counted again for the DPS. Sorry, no, they're not counted. Sorry, they're not counted again. They're counted separately because elemental mods do not go into this. Only your electric mods apply to calculating the electric proc DPS, and then your faction bonuses as well. Okay. So let me give you an example with the Foreman, and to help on this, I'm going to use the baby Foreman. The unmodded one. The unformed, the unboosted, the as basic as it gets Foreman. Alright? So, let's do this calculation here. We hit and we land an electric proc. How much damage does that do? Well, it's 0.5 multiplied by the modded damage. There are no mods, so it's just the damage, which is 500. You can see that right here. Not the electric, the whole damage. Okay? Times 1 plus the electric mod bonuses. Well, we got no mods, so it's 1. Times 1 plus the faction mod bonuses. Well, there aren't any, so it's just 1. So we deal 250 electric damage per second with an electric proc. Boom. If we added in an electric mod, not only would electric be more likely to proc, but say if it was a 90% electric mod, this value becomes 1.9. So this becomes 90% higher. What is that? 475. And so on. The electric proc damage does not care if you mod other damage types onto your weapon, because those other elemental mods are not counted at all. They're just not part of it. It does not care if magnetic is on the enemy, other than magnetic means that enemy shields take more damage. So your proc is still the same, it's just the enemy's taking more damage from the proc, because of a magnetic proc. That's separate. Because it's saying, that's exactly what I'm wondering. And with the adding, another save is just added, not taking any factor of the base number. Cosmic. Ooh, what are we asking here? Savage, saying read the last comment. Wondering if switching electric to mag or corrosive will remove the force procs. That's not the question because Fulmin doesn't force proc electric, so that's not it. Savage, no. Base number minus 0.5. So, okay. For argument's sake, let's say we could somehow add magnetic to my Fulmin here and still have electricity damage. You can't. That there isn't an option for that, but let's say for a moment, Cosmic, you could. Okay? So our Fulmin would deal 100 impact on a hit, plus 4... Ooh, what did I hit? There we are. 400 electric, plus let's say we add on 100% magnetic, so it's 500 magnetic. You couldn't make the Fulmin do this, but let's say it did. Just so we can approach your whole electric-magnetic confusion. Very good. Just look up the wiki. Every force proc is different. Please, go to the wiki for that one. So, with this here, we've added in 500 magnetic using a special magnetic mod. Okay? Savage Nub still wrong. So, with that then being an elemental mod, it doesn't count here because modded damage, as it's referred to on the wiki, doesn't count elemental mods. Okay? Does not count elemental mods. The modded damage, therefore, hasn't gone up because this bit here is from an elemental mod bonus. The DPS... Now we're saying we've got no electric mod on here, so this will still be that. The DPS of an electric proc hasn't changed, even though we've added a magnetic bonus. Or if we added gas alongside the electricity, or if we added in blast alongside the electricity, wouldn't change the electric proc. The hit of the weapon directly is increased, but the electric proc has got no bonus here. But if instead of adding in magnetic, if we added in a 100% electric mod, that would add on 500 electric on top of the 400 electric here, but this is still an elemental modded bonus. So it's not counted here, but it is counted here because that's the electric mod bonus. That's where it is in the equation. That's what you have to take into account. This value doesn't change with elemental bonuses, whether you get it from Shock Trooper, whether you get it from an electric mod that you're adding in, whether you're getting the elemental bonuses from pretty much any source. If it's not on the weapon when you've got 0 mods on it, and it adds in an element, it's an elemental bonus. Saren and Zaku decide to fuck with that because, hey, this game isn't complicated enough, let's make it worse. It's kind of all over the place in that regard. Fortv saying, funnily enough, shooting through Volt Shields adds electric damage, it doesn't mix with combination elements. So magnetic plus electric is technically possible. Well, you can get magnetic electric on weapons which are innate magnetic, which the Fulmin is not. But that said, Fortv, I thought Volt did add in, unless you had innate magnetic. But it's been a while since I've checked onto Volt, so I could be wrong on that one. So don't take that as gospel, read the wiki. Shock Trooper combines with the elements. Yeah, Shock Trooper acts like an elemental mod. Also, Shock Trooper acts like an elemental mod on this invisible third row. I covered that in more detail on my video on how damage types combine, so go to YouTube, The Engineer, and then type in HCET, Harrow Chassis Every Time, or it actually stands for Heat Cold Electric Toxin. The easy way to remember that order, Harrow Chassis Every Time. Heat Cold Electric Toxin. I go into a lot more detail as to how elemental mods and other elemental bonuses are combined on weapons, in what order in that video. It's only like a few minutes long. It's not a whole stream long. So, for talk's sake, on the target. Does adding magnetic damage change that lower number below 100? So, on this note here, again, using the forming with the magical magnetic mod that doesn't exist, if you add magnetic damage somehow to the forming, or say if you added gas damage, the electric proc doesn't go down, it just doesn't go up. That's a difference. Bloody hell. There were not good. I won't lie to you, Cosmic. There was a lot to unpack there. I don't know if I've even answered your question, because your question was, frankly, the equivalent of asking if I add purple to the number 7, does the number 7 get sad? That's about how it felt reading that question at first, not gonna lie. I'd say that as someone who knows how this stuff works, you really got me there. So yeah, I hope I've cleared a hell of a lot up there, including how status effects actually work in this game. Depends what Seven's favourite colour is. Good answer, Cosmo. Good answer. You speak the absurd. Eldritch horrors would not shatter your mind. You would be one of the cultists chasing after them. Congrats. Flow Thought saying, does the condition overload bugged multiplying projectile weapons affect damage from your elemental mods too? Yes, because it is a direct multiplier to your damage. And if it is the procs you're asking about, then still yes, because it's a direct multiplier to your damage. So yes. Just not good at asking correctly or precisely. It's about narrowing down the things you're actually talking about, Cosmic. I can understand that terminology can be a pain to work through, but the first step is understanding your own question before pitching it to make sure that you get the answer you're looking for. What's bugged about condition overload? On projectile weapons, it's multiplicative rather than additive to other damage sources like Serration. Which is why my go-to form and build has both Serration and Aptitude on here, and the Arcane Primary Merciless. Despite the fact that technically these should all be adding together and this should be a pile of shit, it's not actually. This allows the Foreman to deal at least a decent amount of damage before any stacks exist. This then turns it into a bajillion damage, and then this multiplies on top again. It's kind of crazy. At least I wonder whether the multiplier is additive to faction mods or goes after it. It's after it, because this is not a faction mod bonus, Elio. It's not changing the bonus, it's just being applied incorrectly. Something to do with the fact that projectiles are handled differently to hit scan damage. I don't know why. Frankly, I don't think DE knows why. I don't think DE knows why. So I have 9 capacity left over. Yeah, I've done a lot of forming on this. I've done a lot of that. Which weapon would I recommend to farm the Primary Merciless Arcane with? Your best weapon. Or alternatively, your best way to farm the Primary Merciless Arcane. This might be a bit controversial. This might be a bit controversial. Your best weapon to farm the Primary Merciless Arcane, what you do is you type in Primary Merciless. It helps if you remember how to spell Primary Merciless. You type in Primary Merciless on this website here. And you farm it by getting 14 platinum and speaking to... Is that an I or an L at the start? So you copy and paste the message, because screw trying to figure out if that's an I or L at the start. The computer knows, let the computer handle it. And you get it for 14 platinum. That's the best way to farm those arcanes. Because Primary Merciless, one of the most powerful arcanes, and most widely used in the game, it's cheap as bloody chips. Go for it. Or yeah, get a friend who's advancing the game and see if they'll gift it to you. I did exactly that with a friend of mine. He got to the seal battle and said, hey, you've unlocked that now. By the way, here, have these 6 arcanes. He's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you're good now. Is that 14 plat for max rank? It is, Cosplay, yeah. That was max rank. Not 1 arcane. 1 fully stacked 21 arcanes in 1 arcane. That's less than 1 platinum per Merciless. And we knew this was going to happen. Yes, I did, Ladybug, yep. His mind kind of exploded, and then I explained how expensive they are. He went, oh, that makes sense. Well, good luck, you're god now. Yeah, that's very correct, Gorilla. That was basically what it was. It's like, welcome to the end game. You can use these now. Plus 360% damage, because why not? Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. So Lessons Grind gives a lot of spare arcanes? It does, yeah. And it's the fact that you can't turn them into anything else. They just end up building up, and so the price is cheap. Can you see my Exalted Blade build? You can't because I don't have a proper build for it, no. I mean, I could show you the absolute travesty of a build that is on there at the moment, but you're going to hate it. Don't use it. Does it even have a former in it? It does not even have a former in it. Don't use this build. I don't even know what this build is, so don't use it. There you go. That's like just mods thrown on there to hopefully make something. Just don't. Was I had a friend of mine saying, I only got my primary secondary arcanes a week ago. Excuse me, that came out of nowhere. In exchange for some pineapples. Honestly, a pineapple per one of these arcanes is actually a near enough fair trade. Because if you gain the whole 6 of them for 6 pineapples, the merciless ones are probably slightly more than a pineapple's worth, the others are probably slightly less. So that's a fair trade. Genuinely. I know someone's going to use that build. Well, maybe Jedi, maybe. If they do, enjoy Excalibur. Wondered if you have a fun Mirage and melee combo for me to try out. I mean, I have Mirage builds over on my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, The Engineer Mirage. 3 builds straight away for you. You're surprised Mercer still costs 14? Well, it is actually in demand. That's the thing, Zom. There is some demand for it, and a lot of people get to that point of just going, I just can't be bothered to sell it. I just can't. Which, frankly, is my case as well, because, you know, I can't be bothered. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 max ranked Mercilesses on top of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Dexterities, and then for some reason, only 1 Deadhead. Where'd my other Deadheads go? Oh, I scrolled. there's the other Deadheads. I was wondering, that seemed a bit weird. Where are they? Oh, right, they're right there. Yeah, I just can't bother to sell them either. I scrolled. That makes a lot more sense all of a sudden. Okay. 15 plat not even worth the time it takes to trade? No, 15 plat's worth it. The minimum I would want to do in a trade is like 10 plat these days. But if you're a newer player, trade all the way down. Trade whatever you can trade. If you're a newer player, get the platinum you can get. The fact that higher level players consider below certain amounts too much of a chore to be worth trading means that you as a newer player can get in there and get those trades, because buyers don't give a shit. Buyers will pay whatever they have to pay to get what they need to get. If you're selling a mod for 6 platinum, 3 platinum, 1 platinum, they don't care, they want that mod. So they'll go and get that mod from you. But sellers, as you get more into the game and your platinum gets into the thousands, I can't be bothered. So, capitalize on that. Newer players, go sell your stuff. If you got spare things, see what it's worth and sell it. Time to sell your vitality mods. I mean, if you pop into trade chat, you might actually be able to sell a vitality mod to someone who thinks it's funny that you're selling a vitality mod. You might actually be able to pull that off. Not often. But if someone like MR4 pops up and says, hey, selling vitality rank 4, 2 platinum please, someone might actually buy that off you. Just for the hell of it. So, yeah, anything could happen. Anything could happen. Anyway, that aside, I think it's time I make a spreadsheet. Yo, XGO! I was talking about you. I was telling you about how I gave you a whole bunch of the Steel Path Arcanes as soon as you got access to them. And your reaction was kind of like, what? Alright, this is not going to work long term, so I'm going to need to put this into a spreadsheet. So, let's get a spreadsheet going. Let's get a spreadsheet going. Where's my spreadsheet thingamajiggy? There it is. Brand new spreadsheet. This is where I flashbang the ever-loving hell out of all of you. Deal with it. Get good. So with the full min, let's break this down. We've got... yeah, we got Arsenal damage. And then we got Arsenal multi-shot. Arsenal damage bonus. Full multi-shot. Full damage bonus. Just to take out the numbers more easily. Out your eyes, deal with it. Get good. You have Discord light theme? Okay, no, that's just weird, Gorilla. But spreadsheets have to be in, like... Yeah, the chatbot's working, Hashio. It started working after the stream started. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it is. So I just took it. Let's see. Damage, full shot damage. And we need the crit chance. Crit damage. Is that all I needed for the calculation right now? Oh, and G-apt if applicable. Have I ever heard of night mode? Yeah, don't care. If you guys are watching this in a dark room, if you're watching this where a bright screen is that painful to your eyes, I'm sorry, but you are damaging your eyes already. You are doing this to yourself. Put yourself in a better environment for looking at your screen. Stop huddling under your covers in bed looking at your phone. It's not good for you. Especially something needs to be in light mode, it attracts bugs. I ain't coding. It's fine, Penguin. Alright, so we can carry over the numbers that we got from here so far. You know what, I'm going to split that to the left. Oh, that wasn't supposed to be so big. The Arsenal damage we said was 5247.1. Arsenal multi-shot was 1.8. Arsenal damage bonus was 2.65. I'll just pre-calculate stuff. It'll be easy peasy. Who needs eyes anyway? My eyes work just fine. My eyes work just fine. The full multi-shot when it's fully stacked, 3.3. Full damage bonus when fully stacked is 6.25. The crit chance we said was 90%. The crit damage we said was a 4.84 multiplier. Aptitude if applicable. It is applicable. We got said 240% out of that one, which gives us then final damage total using average crits is equal to that divided by that divided by that multiplied by that multiplied by this my spreadsheet's great, and then multiply this by 1 plus that multiplied by that minus 1, and then multiplied by 1 plus that. And we know that that's correct because it's come out to the same value as I calculated over here. Near enough. There's just some slight rounding going on. Not sure where and when I round. Ah, yes, I rounded here. I rounded there. That's why I rounded. Got it. What my prime dies? God, you guys are weak. Genuinely weak. How are you also bad at handling just a little bit of bright light? I know it's winter for the Northern Hemisphere, but go outside when it's daytime, God damn it. Daylight is fine. So screen light is nothing. Alright, main thing is... Ooh, balls. Now we got this set up. Damage quantization rounding? Nah, that's just B rounding. It's not quantization. We're not even considering quantization, okay, Tono? Do not bring that curse into here. We're fine. There's bears out there? Yeah, there's bears outside. There's also twinks too. Anyway, moving on from that one before it gets a little bit too problematic in here. Let's bring in the tenant envoy now. And I want to have... In fact... Yeah, no, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Bring that off to the side here. So, tenant envoy. Now, if I copy this down to there, I just need to fill in all the values now. Arsenal damage. I'm actually only going to focus on the radial damage here. There we go. Multi-shot base and Arsenal damage base. This one does not have dual damage built into it. No, it does not. So that's cool. Full multi-shot will be 3.3. Full damage will be... Just to sack off of this, it'll be 4.6. Oh wait, no, I do have... How did I miss acceleration on there? My bad. 4.6 plus 1.55. 6.15, there we go. Crit chance is 105.1%. Oops. 105.1%. Sure, add in a decimal point, who cares? Crit multiplier is 7.2. G aptitude does not apply. Why is this still... Oh, it's a row down. Of course it is. Copy. You insert row above. Paste. Delete row. Now that won't happen again. There we go. Alright, cool. Up the volume of what, me? So is that encouragement to go outside, or it should be encouragement, Cosmo? Should be. Why do I use the mag restoration on Envoy? Because a little bit of sprint speed is nice. I probably should use it on my Foreman as well, but I don't for some reason. So yeah, a little bit of sprint speed is nice. This again helps to have that initial damage burst before worrying about this stacking up. I could use something else there, like a Prime Bane. That'd be just fine, but I don't have to. Just as a point of clarity, how much is that giving me? I do 1.55 divided by 1.55 plus 3.6 plus 1. This mod is giving me a 25% damage bonus versus not using it, whereas this would give me 55% just on the direct damage alone. So that would be better, but this is more cozy. This is why I say you don't need to optimize absolutely everything. But here we can see the damage output of doing that. The Tenet Envoy, oh, didn't want that. The Tenet Envoy comes out to, with this setup here, an average hit, including the average of critical output, of 391,000. So the performance 343,000. Now bear in mind that will get reduced down due to fall off. Bear in mind that multiple application from the range there, but it tells us we're in the same kind of ballpark for damage. Also, I could replace Prime Cold rounds. Obviously, lose a lot of viral, but you aren't losing weighting or status. True, yeah, I could drop that one. The base damage would go down because it's Hunter Munitions focus build. This is where damage calculation starts to become an absolute fucking pain in the ass. God, I'm swearing a lot today, because trying to account for all the different variations of doing slash-based builds, of doing viral builds, and the damage bonus that's going to have against health. Then you've got Corrosive, which has a bonus against armor and also the armor reduction effect therein, both on the direct hit and also the status proc, reducing the armor of all enemies. There's a lot to take in. That's why there is no one single simple answer to builds, and why you can get away with a lot of things, because there's a lot going on at once. Even this isn't a direct damage improvement of any kind whatsoever. Like, you could argue, oh, surely that should be stronger than this. Like, this gives you a 55% damage bonus. Why aren't you using that one? Well, turns out that application does actually matter. Who knew? Sometimes the highest value on paper isn't the highest value for effectiveness. It do be like that. If anything, this is showing that my setup here, before the slash comes into play, and both my Foreman and the Tenet Envoy here use slash mods to force those things on as well, having about the same damage. Anyone ever wonders, is the Foreman a good weapon these days? Well, my Foreman slaps as hard as the Tenet Envoy, not counting for AoE. That's alright. How about the Amprex then? Where's that come out on the numbers? Would the Vigilante Multi-Shot mod bring your multi-shot to over 3 if the chamber is stacked? It'll bring it to over 4. Would it? No. No, it wouldn't. No, it'd bring it to 3.9. Because you got to remember, you start with 1 multi-shot anyway. Galvanized Chamber adds 230%, so you come up to 3.3. Vigilante Armaments you're referring to would give you an extra 60%, bringing you up to 3.9. That's fair, Zon, that's fair, it's fine. Alright, let's do the same here with the Amprex then. So, Amprex. Final damage calculation, just get that ready so we can use it. Let's put in the numbers. 280.3 showing down below. We need now the... Yeah. So we need now the multi-shot that's shown in the arsenal damage bonus. This one has a plus damage here, so that is plus 144, so that is 2.44, there we go. On full multi-shot, it's just from the galvanized chamber, so that'll be 3.3. Full damage bonus is going to be the 1.44 plus 366, so 1 plus 1.44 plus 3.6 comes out to 604. Crit chance comes out to 96%, and the crit damage multiplier on this one is 7.1 thanks to that juicy ribbon. Not using galvanized aptitude for some reason here, well, because of our damage bonus here. Which means the damage comes out to that, and that is without fire rate. I realize I've forgotten to include fire rate in this, so DPS. Fire rate on this is 16.2, so DPS is equal to that multiplied by that. But you can see there, I mean, DPS 141,000 compared to the Foreman single shot 343. It's no wonder the Foreman does a lot of work. But yeah, Warframe math is absolute hell. There is so much to account for. I'm not even accounting for headshot bonuses. Both the Tenet Envoy and the Foreman shotgun mode cannot headshot, but the Amprex can. When the Amprex headshots, it's going to get a triple bonus on top of that. So this DPS here goes up from 141 to, what's that, like 420-ish thousand damage? 420-ish thousand? That's a lot of DPS. And then you've got to account for the fact that you've also got the crit enhancement going on to there, which this doesn't even take into account. Critical headshots have a double critical multiplier, that goes even higher still. And all three of them have slash built into it, Grillo, that's why I'm not even counting that right now. And then we got to account for the fact there's also the hidden AoE on the Amprex, both the chaining off it, and then I've got the punch through added onto it for even more chaining. And this is why there is no flat and fixed and simple number you can use. If you're asked the question, how much damage does this Amprex do? The answer is... That's the answer. Because there's the damage when you just aim at an enemy. And this isn't even accounting for the fact that the Amprex doesn't start at full damage, it scales up over the course of like half a second of firing. And you've got to take into account the stacks, and you've got to take into account the fact that enemies have different damage type multipliers, which is going to affect both your electricity and viral. You've got the procs, which are going to apply. The amount of viral procs this puts out is going to massively increase the damage output, whereas the Foreman is not going to have that same amount of bonus. But then the Foreman has sheer blappage to it. You gotta acknowledge, a lot of blappage is a lot of good. On the headshots, you got the headshot bonus, which is 3 times on weapons which are eligible, but the Foreman on automatic mode is eligible, but the Foreman on shotgun mode is not eligible. But then it's got the differences between the bonuses on the galvanized aptitude and how that applies as well, so which one do you want to use at which point in time. Yep. And then you have to take into account that we've got these lovely little slash mods going around, and how do they come into the equation? Because they don't use the elemental bonuses. This has fewer elemental bonuses on it compared to my compared to my Tenet Envoy, which is using the prime cryo rounds. And of course, then you've got to take into account, well, if you're saying about how effective something is, if you look at the slash and we're counting against the enemies which have armor, because we're talking about against their armor, then we're also having to take into account the effective armor reduction bonus. Because the slash proc is going to deal 0.35 times your body damage multiplied by your faction bonuses, but no other bonuses thereafter. You see how much there is to take into account! Thank you, Gamble. El Nasto saying, I don't like the fact that the Foreman has such a hard range cap and fall off on the primary mode. It could be a lot better. How do you think melee users do it? Get closer to your enemy. It's like, instead of being here, be there. The Foreman range is actually perfectly fine. I improved the range on it, granted, but it's still perfectly fine. Thermal velocity, fall off 16 to 32. That, I mean, that's plenty fine, realistically speaking. How do abilities like Breach, Surge, Disaster's Whisper fit into the formula? Potato. No. Do you realise what question you're asking here? Do you realise The depth of the question you have just asked. You do. Okay, cool. That means I don't need to answer it then, because you already understand. Thank you. Got me out of that one. All right then. Excellent. Moving swiftly on. Baited. What about Nourish? What about Nourish? Fenmore. The Fenmore also exemplifies just how bonkers this all gets. It really does, because the damage calculation on the Fenmore has to take into account this. This right here. And now, all of a sudden, all this work that I've done here is no longer good enough. This is why no one does this. This is why I'm not even going to continue this, actually. I've given up on it now. It's pointless. Well, it's not pointless, but it's getting painful to think about. Because this doesn't apply on crits, and you have to take that into account into your average damage equation. It applies 50% of the time on non-crits. You also have to put in that multiplier. Thankfully, it's simple enough. You can just say on non-crits an 11 times average multiplier. It's a multiplier rather than additive, despite the fact that it says plus 2000% damage. Why does it say plus 2000% damage when that's not actually what it does? Because it is what it does, but it's not what it does. And if we just use some consistent terminology, everything would be better. But then, where would we be? What kind of multiplier is the majority of Phoenix Talons buff? No. No, see, Cybermon, no. No. I'm not even touching that, because it was already stupid back before the focus rework. I don't want to have a look at it. I don't. Yeah, Penguin, yeah. That's why the Felarx, Fenmore, Latum absolutely dominate in terms of damage output, when statistically you'd think they shouldn't. Are you Fenmore build? Yeah, sure, there you go. So, this here is a 10% crit chance, okay? So, 10% of the time, we're dealing double damage. That 932.4 damage, 10% of the time. I'm not counting Galvanized stacks right now, or Deadhead. 10% of the time, it deals double damage, so it's 1,864.8. Cool. For 90% of the time then, it's not critting, and of that 90%, 45 percentage points is without the bonus on Evo 5, and 45 percentage points are with the bonus on Evo 5. That averages out to 11 times, but we'll look at the top end of it. At the top end of it, 932 is multiplied by 21, because it gets a 2,000% bonus, which means that 10% of the time I deal double damage, 45% of the time I deal normal damage, and 45% of the time I deal 21 times damage. So this 932 becomes 19,580.4. How does accidentally leaving on Arcane Avenger on an Uncommon Gun build fit into the damage formula? Oh, that's easy to answer, Fork. That is easy to answer. If Fenmore plus Avenger equals Coal for Christmas, that's how it fits into the equation. I hope that's nice and clear for you. It's a pretty simple one as far as I'm concerned, but should work out for you. Yeah. Yes, ICGO. I am absolutely serious. This thing here is multiplicative. For your non-crit damage, it's effectively giving you 11 times multiplier on your non-crit damage. Because half the time it's 1 times, half the time it's 21. Add those two together, you get 22, multiplied by the half, 11. Simple. That is why you want non-crit builds. Going for a Riven to get the extra non-crit isn't necessary, but sure if you want to. It's also why building for crit is stupid on these, because there is the other option, which gives you plus 1,200% additive damage by giving you 400% 3 times over at max stack. However, not only is it additive, therefore competing with the likes of Deadhead or whatever other arcane, Aptitude if it was feeling like it, but all of them projectile so it doesn't. Despite the fact that it's additive with that, the 1,200% bonus also then tells you to go ahead and go get some crits to make up for the crits you've thrown away, and that requires throwing away mod slots you're already using on other sources of damage anyway. Oh yeah, Zom, it's only on the Latum as well, isn't it, anyway? So yeah, the Fenmore just never crit. Best build, never crit. Latum, you can go for the crit build if you want, but actually in most cases it's better off not doing so. What is balance? There is no balance in this game. This game literally does not know balance. Let's give you the maximum DPS output on this, okay? Let's calculate this one. Like I've done with the Foreman, let's calculate this. How high does this go? So on my Fenmore here, in the... yeah, this damage output here, we've got... The second section is the automatic mode. That is when it goes into full brr mode. So we got 932.4. But that is with the multi-shot moments. We need to divide that by the base multi-shot and divide that by the base damage. I don't think I have a base damage mod on here, do I? No, I don't. Excellent. So it's just that. That's why the number looks so low. So without the initial multi-shot, it's actually just 518. 518 multiplied by the multi-shot we'll get from Galvanized Chamber. Multiplied by the bonus we'll get from Aptitude. Let's just assume 2 status effects only, just to keep it clean on that. So that'll give us 160%. I'm putting this into my calculator at the same time. We'll also get the bonus from Deadhead, which is going to give us a 260% bonus. And then, let's see, so we've got multi-shot, Aptitude, Deadhead. They're separate because projectiles. Let's include the Bane, why not? Let's include the Bane in this. 10% of the time it's going to be dealing double damage, so I'm going to put this into brackets for calculation. 10% of 2 times is 0.2, plus 45% of 1 time, so that, plus 45% of 21 times, which off the top of my head, 45, oh, sorry, 0.45 becomes 9.45, yeah. That's how that comes out. To account for the crit, the non-crit no bonus, and the crit with bonus. So non-crit with bonus. Multiplying that all together comes out to a per shot of 320,057. If you headshot with Deadhead, that is multiplied by 3.9. And this is average output, by the way. Taking into account that all the bonuses are averaged. So you can get even higher. If you headshot, it'll be multiplied by 3.9. Slightly more than that because the crit bonus will also become 0.4 effectively. But yeah. And you can fire off these shots of 320,000 with additional damage potential 20.67 times per second. 20.67 is what this gun does. How strong minus critical chance ribbons on the Felox, Fenmore Latum? Are they worth the mod slot even with bad positive stats? With bad positive stats, absolutely not, Saber Mond. Because Ribbon Disposition is trashed here, so you can't afford to have a bad Ribbon at that point, no. Even then, even with good mods stats, you'd need to be replacing one of these mods, is what you have to remember. Switching from 10% crit chance to 0% crit chance, your damage from crits vanishes, so you're losing effectively 0.1 times the damage, but half the time of that 10%, so 5% of the time, it's a 21 times multiplier. So removing your crit chance, let me see if I can mathematically state that. Let's use this. No, let's use a notepad. I prefer a notepad for this bit. So Fenmore, no Ribbon, has 10% 2 times, actually a basic crit that's built in, 45% 1 times because no bonus, and 45% 21 times with the bonus. Fenmore Ribbon has 0% of the 2 times because no crits now, 50% of the 1 times, and 50% of the 21 times. And we can just average this out. So that is 0.2 plus 0.45 plus 9.45. Oops, how did I type that incorrectly? So that averages out to that, and this averages out to 11. Sorry, I hit a keybind. My bad. Don't know which keybind I hit, but I hit it. Sorry, my bad. So it comes out to 8.91%. So if you have a negative 100% crit chance Riven to completely wipe out the crit chance on your Fenmore, that is an 8.91% damage bonus. Yeah, do one Korokop. Which is really not a lot, because then you have to also account for the fact that you're taking off a mod to get that bonus. And as Gorilla's saying, you still need to have a Riven with enough bonus to actually get to that, which I don't think is possible on the Fenmore. So your negative crit chance is going to be even less effective than that. This is the maximum a negative crit chance bonus could possibly give you if the disposition even allowed it. Well, that's not optimization flow thoughts. That's completely separate. Oh, the Rivens do actually go low enough? Oh, well, fair enough then. I thought they wouldn't, so with one pip, but if they do, fair enough. They do. In any case, it's not really a lot to work with, is there? Not really a lot to work with. So you can get a Riven for the Fenmore, and it can end up being more effective. Do I have a Riven for the Fenmore? I doubt that I do. No, I don't. That's a shame. I have Rivens that could become Fenmore Rivens, but I'm not going to go through that effort. Not today. So you should get rid of your plus 60 crit damage plus mag capacity minus crit chance Felox Riven then. Oh god, yeah. Sablemon, that's horrible. I mean, the mag capacity is not terrible. On the Felox, on everything else, it's terrible. On the Felox, it's not terrible, because of how the Felox operates with mags, but mostly it's terrible. That Riven is trashed here. It really is. Because you're replacing one of these kinds of mods to try and make that happen. Start saying, it's completely related, but do you have any recommendations for early game between Mastery 1 to 6? Just whatever, mate. At your level, between Mastery 1 to 6, what you should be doing is just ranking up your basic mods and getting to a point in the game where you can get the more powerful stuff. Simply that's it, because you are so early game that I actually call it out as a separate kind of pre-early game. The very early game in my latest video. That's how early game you are at MR1 to 6. You're in the very early game. So what you want to be doing is getting your mods like Serration, your Hornet Strike, your Elemental mods, and just ranking them up. Bit by bit. I know it's going to cost a lot, so if you only get your mod part way, 5 pips in, then you only get it 5 pips in rather than the full 10. That's understandable. It costs a lot to get Serration to that last pip. It took me a while as a player as well. But even there, 90% damage bonus is a lot. And that's only 9 capacity on your weapon. If I bring out the baby Fullman... Actually, no, let's bring out a lower tier weapon still. Let's grab the Boltor. Mastery rank 2, I think this one is. Let's downrank that Serration. Let's go for the lower level Serration. There we go. These are all very affordable things. I'm going to ignore the Foreman slots here because you probably won't have Foreman in your Boltor. So let's go with this then. Let's go with this low-ass weapon. This is very affordable. A new player is going to have to get the mods, but this is very, very affordable. The damage output here, I'm not going to count the crits because there's so few crits, I just can't be bothered to count them. 225.6, multiplied by the fire rate of 14. This does 3,000-ish damage per second. 3,000-ish. Whereas if we compare the base stats, I'm just going to destroy this build. I don't care what that build was. It's destroyed. Unmodded, this one only has 218 DPS. So going from no mods to basic modding, I've basically increased the damage output about 15-fold. Split Chamber might be a bit hard for a new player to come by. It's something to work towards, but it's still something they have to and should work towards, yes. One Vazarin polarity is built in. Oh, cool. Vazarin being the D polarity, right? Alright, well, let's jump that up there if that's built in. Excellent. What else could we fit on? We've got Fire Rate, Multi-Shot, Elemental, and Pure Damage. Let's see. Hell, why not a Bane mod? Get new players into the habit of using Bane mods. Boom, there you go. Your damage just went up 30%. Amazing. Easy job. Or if you've gone and done yourself some work over in the Heroic Vaults, you can get yourself Val Acceleration, although at a low Serration, I probably wouldn't do that, actually. Vigilante Armaments, you can get that as a newer player. It's only on Plains of Idle, it's not that hard to get. But the main thing would probably be the Bane mod at that stage. Or another Elemental mod. Just slap Hellfire onto there. Boom, now we've got Viral Heat. Absolutely loving life. My point is, as a newer player, get your basic mods, start ranking them up. I must impress on every new player. Rank your mods up. I don't want to be seeing a build with a Serration that looks like that. If that is what your Serration looks like on your build, you're doing it wrong. Stop hurting yourself. Don't take 15% damage. Take the 90%, or higher still if you can afford to do so. How do normal mains compare to primed ones? Well, one's 50%, 55 and one's 30%. They're literally the same mod, but one is primed and therefore has a high number. That's it. Your Seration's at like 160 something? Yeah, it should max out at 165. And once you're doing amazingly. That's 20,000 endo you've invested there. Good job. Keep it going. This here is demonstrating with Zero Former, Orokin Reactor in there. Sorry, yeah, Orokin Catalyst in there. Easy peasy stuff. Stupidly easy peasy. You got into the habit of upgrading your mods pretty early? Excellent. Then you probably find the game surprisingly easy, I'm going to assume, Star. If you're already ranking up your mods, I'm going to assume that you are going through the game and you're like, are these enemies meant to fall over quite so quickly? Except when you get to the occasional boss fight, you go, oh shit. But just for a moment. Most enemies, yep, you say it. You have it very easy. Yeah, most enemies do just fall over. Alright, I'm going to take this build now. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to take this build, this Boltor, this no former but still modded. Why can I not leave my arsenal? Oh, there we go. It broke for a moment. Alright, let's take this. Oh, you have Zonsteach. Oh, you're in very good hands, Star. You're in exceedingly good hands then. But let me show you. With this Boltor, modded to the nines as far as a new player is concerned, we're now going to take it to Earth. As we both agreed, you do find the enemies very easy to kill. So I'm just going to go to Earth. Good old basic Earth. There will come a point where it is not so easy. Don't you worry. Once you get to the Steel Path, many a level from you just yet, you will find all of a sudden everything just doesn't die. And then you have to bring out something like this, which just goes, and now they're dead. And that one is dead. And that one's dead. Oh, he just evaporated. That one died without me even looking at him. You will get there. I really feel bad for that one. That guy just had a full-on blade shoved in his face. You thought I loaded onto Steel Path by mistake? No, I was making a point. As much as I do load onto Steel Path by mistake, about twice a week. Not this time. Alright, I think that is enough on that for now. Because chat, I think it's about time we do the Plat giveaway. After having the bot broken a few times here and there, it's finally up and working again, so we can finally do a proper platinum giveaway, as we've gotten used to on this channel. If you haven't done so yet, type into the chat, !ticket, for a chance to win it. It's the only way you can enter. Any platform is eligible to do so. And whilst you're at it as well, if you happen to move your mouse across a bit on the screen, if you go away from the chat window, just off to the side there is that lovely little subscribe button. If you've got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe completely for free. I mean, why wouldn't you take money away from Jeff Bezos? He's got too much as it is. Consider it. I'll give you guys a moment to grab your tickets and grab your free Prime subs if you got them. How many entries can you get? 1 per person. It is 1 entry per person, no preferential treatment for anyone on that. So it doesn't matter whether you're a subscriber, follower, doesn't matter if you are a moderator, doesn't matter if you've been here for 5 minutes, 5 years. If you've been here 5 years, wow, what? How? But you get my point. 1 ticket per person, completely even chances. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, Flame Thoughts. It's kind of how it goes. I definitely 100% lied in the stream title day. Unintentional. It happened. Temporal manipulation. Please do not manipulate the temporals. Manipulating the temporals is a bad idea. You're so broke you can't even get a Prime? Well, if you can't get Prime, you can still subscribe through other means. Or, if you're not able to subscribe to the channel, you know what you can do? Share it with your friends. The more people who want to be here, the better everyone is, after all. The Belly's saying, does that work with other consoles or any PC? When you say does that, do you mean the Plat giveaway? Because that's open to all consoles as well as PC, yeah. Eternalism? Eternalism. Yeah. God damn it, I hate Eternalism. Eternalism annoys me. It really does. But that is a topic for another time. Or maybe a previous time. Eternalism. Plus, we've also already covered how much it annoys me. But hey. Saying, I haven't played for 2 years. We're using Tigris as a shotgun, Sonic or Ragdoll as a secondary. Feel out so outdated. Things have moved on a bit. I think Tigris Prime still slaps, but things have moved on a bit. Things have moved on a bit. You send a build for review? We're all done on looking at a build today, El Nasta. We're all done on that. Alright, I think we've given enough time for everyone to enter into the giveaway. But listen, yes, don't know what State of Trades is. Don't know if giveaways through Warframe Twitch use another system. They use another system. When I say it's open to all platforms, it's not because I'm magically going to reach through the trade barriers and trade you the platinum. Whoever wins, once I get your details as to who I'm sending it to, it just arrives in your account magically one day. You open up Warframe, a little bit bleary-eyed because, of course, you're playing Warframe at 9 AM in the morning because you got nothing better to do on a Saturday. You sign into your favourite game, and all this goes, oh, Operator, look, I have a message for you. DE have given you platinum. And you go, oh shit, I won that. I forgot about that. You forget. Alright, that's enough time for everyone to enter. Let's close this and run it. Oh, okay, yep, there we are. My computer was arguing. Close. Oh, it's 97 people in today. There's a few people who want a bit of platinum. But the person who was most successful, the person who entered in at exactly the right time, the bot's gone, you know what? I like you. You can have it. That winner today is Garuga's Corner. Garuga's Corner. I swear to God, if you spend this on another Valkyrie, whatever. I can't stop you. So Garuga's Corner, congratulations, you are the winner of today's Platinum giveaway. I will be contacting you shortly to make sure I have your exact Warframe username and platform. We'll get this sent on over to you. Congratulations, Garuga. On that note, I think it's about time we raid over to someone else, chat. We've had 2 hot fixes. We've had more rants than we care to shake a stick at. We've had some people who thought that trolling was okay. I told them otherwise. This is not a troll channel. If you want to troll someone, go find a 13-year-old playing Minecraft. They probably should be streaming anyway, but, you know, the world is fucked like that. Let's instead head on over to someone else. Who are we going to raid today? Who are we going to raid? I don't actually know who's streaming at the moment, so I should probably check that. We should actually check that. Sebamon asking, will there ever be a video that corrects small errors in the old videos? No. When I put out new videos, I put out the new videos correcting things if they need to be corrected, like how in my recent video I pointed out how I did not properly assess the Mesa farm time. So I've addressed that error. But If it's serious enough that I feel I need to put a pinned comment, I'll do that. I don't put out videos just going, by the way, this was wrong. It doesn't really help anyone, actually. Because the people who need to see it won't see it. So, ironically, it's a waste of time. You'd think correcting yourself would be a good idea, but it's actually just a waste of everyone's time. Which is why I don't do that. Right, let's go to Kadoma. I don't know if Kadoma is going to finish up streaming now. I should probably check with them, but I'm not going to. Just to make this even funnier on them. We're going to go to Kadoma today. Thank you everyone for joining in on today's stream. I do hope you enjoy yourselves. I will see you on Friday for whatever you guys vote for over in the Supporter Tea Lounge. Those of you who are subscribers, you get to vote on that, so go vote. And otherwise, if you're not in on Friday, I'll see you on Sunday for more Warframe. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.